tearful faith and little lies, as best she could, she begged the skies for a dad and a mom, a forever home, a world away down on their knees. Jesus, give us eyes to see. If you were leading us to this, then you will make a way for us. Now she's here, from halfway around the world, 'cause Jesus hears the orphan. He is moving heaven and earth, all for one little girl. I heard Jesus calling. Will you go and rescue her? All for one little girl. Little did you know we were coming, 'cause Jesus hears the orphan. She's a woman now with grateful eyes, with her husband thanks the skies, a dad and a mom, a forever home, a world away down on their knees. Jesus heard the faithful pleas. They tell the little boy again how his legacy of love began. And now he's here, from halfway round the world. 'Cause Jesus hears the orphan. He is moving heaven and earth, all for one little boy. She heard Jesus calling. Will you go and rescue him? All for one little boy. Little did he know they were coming, 'cause Jesus hears the orphan. Father of adoption, you've adopted me. Father of compassion, here I am. Father of adoption, you've adopted me. Father of compassion, here I am. Send me. Jesus hears the orphan. He is moving heaven and earth, for little boys, little girls. We hear Jesus calling. Will you go and rescue them? Little boys, little girls. Little do they know we are coming. Little do they know Mom and Dad are
I'm glad I'm going over these case speakers on the cover kids should see like we just caught pajamas and
Jesus, you heard my voice.
this lady.
Help.
Alright everybody, tonight I'm doing a thing tonight. I'm playing a tape that the mother and me discussed some stuff on and everything. And one of the reasons is like when I did the tape with the Kent Harshberger, the coroner from Montgomery County, I listened to it and like I said, I hear something. And to be fair to you guys, the community, is when I hear something, I start thinking about where that piece of evidence is to prove what they're saying is true or a lie. And the other night I heard some things and didn't realize that they had a profile of my daughter's DNA in 2012. So tonight I did the same thing with the mother because a friend of mine is listening to the tape and we caught some new stuff on there and everything. So I went back up and I started listening to the tape, and then I started hearing things that I didn't hear before. Because like I said, I hear something, and then my mind's already thinking about, man, where's that piece of evidence at, to prove what she's saying is a lie. But then again, after listening to the tape tonight, I have evidence that shows now a lot of those other lies that I didn't have the evidence at the time that I do today. And like I said, when you listen to the mother and her talking about certain things, and this is for people that are now new into this, that's been trying to follow Mackenzie's story and everything. And I just want to go over everything with Mackenzie again and the reason why there's a Mackenzie's Memorial Fund posted and why I need to get to Washington, D.C. One of the main reasons that I'm doing this is I have to get this case out of Fayette County's hands. We all heard the prosecutor saying that he was going to call BCI and have a meeting and the fire marshal and bring down Columbus detectives and homicide detectives, and they were going to have a meeting. But then, if you heard it in there, he also said that he was going to, he hopes that the fire marshal could change his opinion.
Yeah.
And with all the evidence I got, if that prosecutor can't get a jury indictment and go arrest them for this murder, then he don't need to be my prosecutor on my daughter's case. And I kind of got now the feelings, that gut feeling like everybody says, that this prosecutor is right there in Vernon Stanford's pocket. Just because of the remarks he made. So now, not only do I have a problem with the Fayette County Sheriff's Office, I also have a problem with the prosecutor. Because the main thing is that prosecutor, it's his case. He's the one that's got to go and prosecute this case. So if he sees, if people put stuff on his desk and he don't see, hey, this ain't enough, then his decision is to tell whoever that, hey, I need this, I need this, I need that. And I can tell you right now, one of the things the prosecutor hasn't done is he still hasn't even told the sheriff's office, I need statements from these witnesses.
Exactly.
I need Jamie's statement. I need Jamie to take a lie detector test. I need to find out where this guy right here is. He hasn't even asked for that. And that tells me that part they're trying to leave out of my daughter's case. And they're hoping that the fire marshal can come in and just do it with a fire. But then you're taking that chance. You're taking that chance that we could go to court and these people could walk. And then I could have that mother walk right out of them courtroom steps and look dead at me and say, ha ha ha, I got away with it, I killed her. So, I have to make the moves I have to make to get this out of there. And I'm hopefully everybody, when they listen to this tape, and I show the evidence I have to back everything up that she's saying that punches holes in all her lies, you'll understand why they need to be convicted and that Fayette County ain't doing it and that I have to be in Washington, D.C. to get this out of their hands. So I'm going to go ahead and start the tape. I will stop the tape at certain points because, like I said, I wrote notes down of some of the stuff she said. Some of them is pretty rude of what she says about her own child. But I want to stop it and explain that to you, everybody. So I'm going to go ahead and play the tape. And there is some parts of this tape that is so quiet in the tape. When she's talking, she kind of goes to a whispering part. I put my ear up against that speaker, everything to try to hear. We did hear bits and pieces of some of it. But hopefully somehow I can get that part. That there's a part in this tape that she's explaining about the clothes and Kenny's dad and mom. And I would love to have that part cleared up where I can actually hear exactly how she's explaining that part. And then the rest of it, you can pretty much hear it clearly. And you'll hear about, how she keeps throwing up about me and my boys and the arguments and everything else. So I'm going to go ahead and start the tape because I don't want it to get late and I want everybody to hear everything.
because I asked here, because he said y'all's bedrooms actually was a dining room. And he said that, well, Mom and Kenny's got a bedroom door right there that leads outside.
Yes, I know that. I didn't make any of it up, but here we go again with you grilling the kids and putting the kids into things that the kids really shouldn't be in the middle of.
No, I never saw the inside of your house, and I was asking the boys what the inside of your house looked like, because I've never been in there. They said there was a bedroom upstairs, Mackenzie a bedroom, and there was a bathroom, and then you come down the stairs and they said there was the front room, and then Mom and Kenny actually sleeps in what they consider a dining room. They turned into their bedroom, and then they said then there's a kitchen.
Now, all you have to do is ask me. That's my whole point, is when you're grilling the boys for stuff like that, you know you're grilling them for a reason. And I'm sitting here telling you right now, and I swear to it, them boys do like getting attention from Kenny, and them boys do like seeing Kenny, and them boys wanted to go see Kenny tonight. When they come home and Dad's all pissed off and Dad's all upset about it, they don't want to piss off Dad. They don't want to hurt Dad's feelings, so they tell you what they want you to hear. Just like with Nikki, when they tried to tell me 100 times over that they didn't like her, yet when she bought the CDs for Mackenzie, she was on cloud nine because she bought her Martina McBride. The kids will tell you what they want you to hear. If the kids don't need to be grilled, the kids don't need to be in the middle of it. If you have any questions, you should ask me.
All right, well, you know how close me and Mackenzie were. Why didn't she ever tell me about what you talked about the calling from God, and that where she made her a grave right there beside your house?
I don't know why she didn't. We just out there in the yard that day, and like I said, I just blew it off too. She probably felt silly about it. I just blew it off. When she's out there doing it, she's just a kid being silly, and I bet you she probably had 500 rocks in my yard that day from that railroad track, spelling her name out in it. And she said, I didn't say that she said she was I, so that was my impression of it. She, in my heart, she had made peace, or she knew what was expected of her, because she laid all that out and told me she was going to be there with the cat, and I blew her off and even laughed at her. Now to this day I think how stupid I am, but I laughed at her. I'm like, you cannot be buried in the yard with the cat. It's illegal and I'll go to jail for it. And she said, this is where I'm going to be. I'm going to be right here and take care of Ashley.
Why don't you take her upstairs or something so I can get this? Harrison. Yeah. I just didn't understand. I mean, I don't know. With Mackenzie, then again, she likes animals, so.
Yeah, well, that's what I said. You know how she is. I mean, there was truly, and when I say it, I mean it, there was truly something about her. You know, she was an angel from the very beginning, and I'll say that 100 times over, because there was something. I love all of my kids, but she had that special little something. I don't know what it was.
Yeah, but you gotta understand, Mackenzie being 8 years old, I don't think she was ready to go see God that soon.
I didn't say she was ready. I said she was at peace. She knew. I'm not saying that she would. I'm saying 100% without a doubt, when it came time, she did not suffer. She knew where she was going, and she knew that she was going to a better place. And you're not going to take that away from me. I'm not going to ever sit and dwell on the fact that, you know, I'm sure she was scared, but without a doubt, he was there with her, and she knew that she was going to a better place.
So you think she died peacefully?
I know she did. I know how special she was, and I know without a doubt that she, like I said, she was the one that was always, you know, if nobody was going to go to church with her, because I wouldn't let her go by herself, and I couldn't go because of the boys. Boys wouldn't go, wouldn't sit still when they did go. If Jennifer wouldn't get up to go with her, she was mad, and everybody's day, everybody suffered on Sundays if Mackenzie didn't get to go to church. I know without a doubt she understood the things that she studied at church, and she knew without a doubt that when it was her time, she was going to a better place. And I know without a doubt that he was standing there with her, and she did not suffer. He did not let her suffer. Nobody's going to take that away from me. He took her away, and there's no answers, and there's nothing. Nobody can ever tell me why. But without a doubt, he did not let her suffer through it. No. And on that note, I'm done because I'm not going to get all upset. First of all, and second of all, just this half hour ago, you were telling me how to
You would.
Alright, I'm going to stop it right there, because I want everybody to hear that part. This is the part where she's telling me that my daughter went over to the railroad tracks and collected 500 rocks to spell her name. And first of all, my daughter's name's not that big of a name. And was building her name out in rocks next to a cat. Now, I asked both my boys if they had a cat ever at that house. And both my boys said there was never a cat. And the reason I can say that, too, is because, think about it. The reason my daughter had to keep the rabbit upstairs in her bedroom and the door shut was because the dog would try to kill the rabbit. If the dog was going to try to kill the rabbit, and this dog was so mean and it would attack anybody coming in the house, I don't think it probably liked cats neither. Yeah. Or did my daughter get a cat, the dog killed the cat, and that's why the cat was buried in the yard, but my boys both said there was no cat. But one of the things I paid attention to is she said that her daughter was so special to her. That's what she said. She was so special. Mm-hmm. Then why did you leave her? If she was so special, why did you leave her in the house? Why didn't you try to save her? The next thing she said, she didn't suffer. How in the world did my child suffer? So, if my child didn't suffer, like she's saying, and that she was at peace, I don't think that's at peace and my daughter didn't suffer. But let's say she's saying my daughter's didn't suffer. Tells me she probably didn't if she was drugged. She didn't even know there was a fire. Because if she was alive, and the smoke and everything is what killed my child, then she suffered. Yeah. But in her own mother's words, she said, I know for a fact she didn't suffer. How do you know that she didn't suffer if you weren't in the house? If you weren't in that bedroom, how do you know my child didn't suffer? She said she knew she was going to a better place. Like I said this before, I don't believe it, that my daughter, 8 years old, is already talking about death. And then is talking about going and seeing God. I don't, I'm telling you now, I have not yet found an 8-year-old that talks about it. That comes to a mom or a dad and says, hey, I'm ready to go see God. I'm ready to be with God at 8 years old. I mean, but that's what she said, that she was talking with her in the yard. And the thing of it is, when this incident happened, was a week before my daughter actually died. And then she said, a key thing right here that I caught. She said, every Sunday, everybody suffered because Mackenzie wanted to go to church. Almost like she was mad. Hey, we all got to suffer because Mackenzie wants to go to church and we can't take her to church. The church that Mackenzie went to was closer than the school that she went to, that she walked home from every day. So why didn't she just walk over to the church? And I can tell you right now, the church is exactly right behind the bar. That was only a block away, 1 block away. Actually, the church parking lot is in the backyard of one of the witnesses that she went and got shoes from. So it wasn't that far away. So why did everybody suffer? And then I caught some things. She said he took her away. He made sure she didn't suffer. And I caught that. And it can go 2 ways. She could be talking about God, or she could be talking about the white male DNA that's in that bedroom that made sure that he took her away and she didn't suffer. So these are the things, like I said, I want to go over this tape. Like I said, I don't believe my daughter at 8 years old was discussing death with her mother. And I don't believe my 8-year-old child was over on a railroad track, where if you're a parent, you shouldn't even have a child near a railroad track, collecting 500 rocks. So I'm just going through this and letting everybody hear it, and what everybody can have their own opinion of what you guys just heard. But I know there was no cat. There was a rabbit. So
You were alone, and you were tired of being alone, and that's why you wanted those boys. But then they tell me William was at your house.
All right, I've got to get up and go to work at 6 in the morning, so I'm going to bed. You've done made up your mind, I guess, like I said, because, God forbid, I have 10 words with Kenny, they're done and what have you, so.
That's not what I'm asking. Does William live with you?
It doesn't matter. We've done had this discussion. If you're done and I'm not going to see the boys anymore, that's fine. It's done, whatever.
Alright. Alright, Kim.
stop it right there. Alright, I was talking to her and I kept asking about William, because before I got other evidence about William and stuff, William is the one that supposedly stayed home in bed asleep during the fire. Next day, he was riding all over town asking people questions about the fire, everything else. He's also the one that failed the lie detector test too, twice. But I asked her if William was living with her, and she wouldn't answer it. She avoided the question, and she said about me and the boys again. She said, if I don't see the boys, it doesn't matter. That's what she said.
Yep, that's fine.
And I'm sorry, but I have every right that when a person fails a lie detector test and her live-in boyfriend is a suspect in my daughter's death, I have every right to keep my boys away from her and away from them until I find out what happened to my child. But like I said, that's how much she thought about her boys, was, oh well, I'm not going to tell you that William's living here, and I ain't going to tell you Kenny's living here, because that's all you want to know. But if I don't see the boys, oh well, it doesn't matter.
Yep.
Go ahead and play it. Hey, let me know when people make a comment or that say something like a question or something. Let me know.
Out of it, and you're still playing the control game, and I cannot do it anymore.
I had nothing to say about controlling. I don't want to control you. I don't want nothing. I mean, there's nothing. The only thing I said, like I said, and I keep going back to, the only thing I ever wanted from you, Marianne, was the truth about what happened to my daughter.
And I've told you the truth all along, but the minute you found out that I stopped seeing Kenny, or the minute you found out that, Dr. Britt,
I just told her.
and my mother was in the house, my God,
It ain't about
your dad,
your boyfriend,
so
it
they're
ain't
not
about
going to see
the-
you no more, and everything else. You have
Right
to
back
say
in my face.
that you're claiming to
Anything
kill
that
him,
changed that subject.
it's there. I see it. It shows. If you want to be a man, you want to do the right thing for your kids, then you better have time with me, paperwork, And you'll let me have my weekly visits, and it doesn't matter
That's when she
if I've got another person in my life or not, as long as they're not someone that harms two children and you know as well as I do. I would never put anyone around these kids that would harm them.
I understand that, but you see, that's what I'm saying. You don't understand my feelings. I go by what the sheriff's department and the fire marshal said. When they
I did not tell you earlier, I just said you point blank. You're wrong. Because it's not a matter of what you're going by, what you're going by, what you're going by. It is exactly 100% the fact that I've got someone else. Before any of this ever happened, it was the same way. If I had someone in my life, you didn't want nothing, you weren't going to give me nothing, you weren't going to cooperate. If no one's in my life, then Rick's just fine and dandy with giving me what I want, let's work this out together. It's not, there should never be an issue of that, ever.
If you was dating somebody else, I wouldn't care if you had the boys every day. But like I said, when it goes back to the part of the arson part and the homicide, I do. She blocked. See, she want to talk about it.
Wait, stop it right there. All right. One of the things you guys are listening to, every time I kept saying, I don't give a damn who you're with. I don't care. I want to know about the truth about the fire and my daughter. She'd throw that boyfriend stuff right back at me. She'd throw like I'm jealous. I wasn't jealous, trust me, of her. I had a child that was born in August, 4 months after my daughter's death. So I had a woman. I had a kid on the way. I was trying to get, and every time I would bring it up and say, I'm here about, I just want the truth about the fire. Oh, well, it's Kenny. You know, it's, no, it ain't. It's who I'm dating, and you're trying to control me, and you're trying. Always kept changing that subject to throw in that boyfriend thing. And and you guys can hear me, I keep going back and saying, no, I want to know about the fire. Mm-hmm. Well, Kenny this, Kenny, boyfriend, you know, anybody I'm with, you just want to know who I'm with and everything else, blah, 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 blah. That's what I said. She kept avoiding about the fire. Go ahead.
You keep cutting me off.
All right, I'm done. I made my point. Like I said, you've got your control, you've got your ways, you've done what you want to do, whatever. So it's that. I guess it's that plain and simple. You're not thinking about your boys at all, 100 at all. All you are thinking about is yourself. So if that's what you've got to do, then that's what you've got to do.
I'm thinking about myself.
You still didn't answer my question. Why are you cutting me off?
Because I'm not going to sit and listen to you run your mouth about that night. You were not there. You have no idea. I know in my heart, and I'm not going to argue with you over and over and over and over and over again. There's just no going back to arguing. You know, it's so funny because in your eyes, talking to Detective Brown, they told you that Kenny was the number one suspect. But in my eyes, 100% talking to Detective Brown, you were the third person they were going after. They kept trying to get me to kill you. They kept trying to get me to say bad things about you. So, you know, you're getting one side of the facts, and that's fine and whatever. You can make your whole whatever on that. The fact of the matter is, I got all sides of the facts. I got the way they attacked me and the way they kept wanting me to turn on you, but I also heard they did that and played that with everybody. So I'm sitting back with the whole picture, point blank. And I'm not accusing anybody, and I didn't turn on you, and regardless, I would have never turned on you because I know you would never do that. You would never put your child in any harm. Just like you should know in your heart, I would never put my children in any harm.
Why is my phone doing that for? Alright, like I said, I don't want to argue neither with you. I mean, like I said, I didn't care if you saw the boys. The bottom line was, I wanted you to see the boys and just you. And you don't understand that part. You haven't seen them in over a year.
I have to.
Alright, I caught one thing I wanted to run by you guys real quick. Because I got a couple friends that explained some stuff to me, man. And when they explained it to me, I'm like, yeah. She said right there, I keep saying that Kitty was their #1 suspect.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Now, we all know Kitty went that night to take the lie detector test, and it was inconclusive, so was Mary Ann's inconclusive. They told the truth about some things, they lied about other things. But she said, that Detective Brown told her, me, was the first one they were going after. That's what he told her. And ain't it funny? I believe that. I did. And then, like I said, while they were all had their eyeballs on me, somebody was back at the house destroying what they needed to, while everybody was focused on me. And then when they got to where they couldn't, there was no way they could pin my daughter's death on me. They had to figure out what the hell we're going to do now.
Yep.
And I can tell you that's the God's honest truth because of what Joy Stanford said at the hospital in her statement. Now I got the mom saying that's what Detective Brown told her. And I can tell you there was a fight between me and Detective Brown when I took a picture in there, a photograph in there that he was very pissed about. And she even said Vernon told her the same damn thing too. That they all looked at me as for the death of my daughter. And they knew damn well where I was. They knew everything I was doing that night. And they even knew that the phone call came from her to me from the fire to where I was. And they knew that stuff. And I was cleared by ATF and the fire marshal in 2009.
But in 2012, when they got the DNA profile, you're the first one they came to.
And I was the first one they came
Although
to.
You've already been officially cleared.
Even though I was officially cleared in 2009, in 2012, when the profile was found, I was the first one they came to get DNA. Yep. And it was Detective Brown that came and got my DNA.
And the only one they came and got.
And the only one at that time that they got. And so, like I said, now she admitted it, that's who they were looking at. And the thing of it is, we all know the night of the fire, the boyfriend lied. Said he used the ladder, went up, tried to save Mackenzie, and they said, you're a liar. Then he changed his story and told, the whatever about why he told it, because he didn't want everybody to look down on him. And he wanted to look like a hero because he was a fireman. They sent him that night to take his lie detector test on the 27th at 11 o'clock that night. But they were looking at me. I'm the one they were looking at.
Except for the ones that are fearful. I did do that. First and foremost. Second of all, I did spend time with my boyfriend. Third of all, you cannot sit there and say, you're lying through your teeth. You sat right there and heard the conversation. I was pointing by his head. So you cannot sit there and say you didn't. You try to convince him about it. That's what you're doing, sitting in front of her. I don't know. But you knew for a fact that I was pointing by his head. The boys to see him. Now all of a sudden, you're all bothered by it. You're bothered by it because the boys wanted to take a license check because the boys enjoy themselves, and that bothers you. And it should not bother you. You should be happy that there's somebody that could have bumped in and somebody that said would never do them any harm, that would only do them good. Just like I think the same thing as Kim. I would never say anything bad about her or say anything bad about her because I know she loves the kids there. And that's the way it should be. And the kids do love her. And I would never take that away from them or tell them they have to choose one over the other. You don't do that to a child.
I don't want my boys involved in this.
You make your boys involved in it when you tell them they're not allowed to like Kitty and when you tell them they're not allowed to be around Kitty. You make your boys involved in it.
Well, bottom line is, like, if it was me and you was on the other side and it was my house caught on fire and it was Kim and you didn't know nothing, like I don't know nothing, and you got professionals saying it's an arson or homicide, you probably would feel the same way about your kids being around somebody else in my life that I ain't married to and don't know nothing about.
You're 100% wrong when you know that. You can sit there and say that without a doubt, whatever, but you are 100% wrong because every time you've ever said, this is it, this is it, this is it, I stood beside you because I know you would never put your children in a position like that. I know that. But I don't have to have anybody else tell me that. You know how I was when you put your hands on Jennifer. You know exactly how. You know how I've been in the 20 guys 100 times over.
That's when the phone messes up.
I'm telling people something.
Is King with you?
No, he's at work, which is where the police came at. For a whole 10 minutes at his work. He hasn't been with me for 2 weeks. I told you that. But the fact is, not a we did share something, and we also moved into a friendship there. And if that bothers you, I'm sorry.
No, it don't bother me.
But obviously it does, because it bothers me enough to say that the boys weren't going to be around anymore because, God forbid, I have companionship with somebody you don't approve of.
Okay, well then, you're so smart on everything, then you explain this to me. How in the world then, and this came from your dad, how in the world can somebody wake up in the middle of the night, run out of a bedroom, bust through a window, run out of a bedroom in underwear, but have keys to every vehicle and glasses, his prescription glasses, and a cell phone?
Okay, now let's get the fucking facts straight, dumbass. I had to go to Dr. Gray's office and get his prescription glasses a week later because he didn't have his motherfucking glasses. We didn't have vehicle keys. His dad had keys to the escort and the truck because when we went out of town on Miller Beach and stuff, his dad would take care of our vehicle. So we had to come back the next day with spare keys to move the vehicle. And as far as my cell phone, it was left in the truck the night before. If you never press it, I told you I didn't have my cell phone. I found it when we recovered the truck. Anything else?
Alright. I asked her, even though she called me a dumbass, but I ain't too dumb. I'm a pretty smart person. But she thinks I'm a dumbass. I asked her about his glasses, the keys, and the cell phone. And her exact words was, he didn't have his glasses. He didn't have them. They burned up in the fire. She said, Kenny's dad had keys to all the vehicles. To the Escort, to the semi, and to the truck. And that, something about she had to come back.
The next day.
The next day, well, he would do that when they were headed, because they were going to Myrtle Beach.
Oh.
Right there tells me what Jamie said. Remember Jamie said? They were already planning to go to Myrtle Beach that weekend. Mackenzie died. They didn't go to Myrtle Beach because, you know, of course, my daughter died. Instead of Marianne calling and canceling the Myrtle Beach trip, she waited and postponed it for that following weekend after we buried her that Monday. So that Myrtle Beach was still important. But that, supposedly, his dad had the keys to everything. So now, a question I would want to know is, you got to remember here on the other side of the tape, I'm going to play it for everybody, but she says, I called his parents, his dad brought us the clothes, da-da-da-da. I'm starting to think maybe the dad was in the red pickup truck and the mom. And maybe that's why the truck was sitting in the middle of the road with the doors open and the truck running, but 2 bodies were missing. He had the keys to all the vehicles. That's what she just said.
Yeah.
Ain't that what she said?
That's what she said, yeah.
So, if the mom and the dad that only lives 9 minutes away in Bookwater pulled up in the truck to bring them clothes, hell, they're guilty. Because they knew that my child was in that house in that fire. And they brought them clothes, but then their cell phone was laying in the truck, in the seat, in the truck. So, why didn't they call 911? Why did they leave and maybe have somebody pick them up, take them back home? Because we all know that's where Mary and Kenny went after they were released by Vernon, in the red pickup truck. So, that's her own words. Kenny's dad had the keys to all the vehicles, semi Escort, that's the maroon car. Right there's the maroon car. The semi, and then the red pickup truck, which you all can see. There ain't no red pickup truck in this scene. But we all know it was sitting in the middle of the road, doors open, and the keys in the ignition and running. So now, I gotta wonder, did Kenny's parents come in the red pickup truck?
And left the truck in the middle of the
And
road.
then left the truck in the middle of the road.
When they heard firefighters.
And then left. They left the scene because they weren't at the scene.
Right. Left that truck.
And if that's true, they're as guilty as Marianne and Kenny.
Mm-hmm.
They're guilty. They left the child in the house too, knew that house was on fire, knew that child was in there dying. And they didn't call 911. And then they left the scene. But that's another question for our, awesome detectives we have here in Fayette County to be asking questions. But they won't go to the Mossbargers and ask any questions. None of them have ever been interviewed. None. Zero. And what was the other one that she said? And then the phone was in the truck the night before. Her cell phone.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know anybody leaves their cell phone in a truck more than 2 days.
Especially a woman.
Especially a woman. And I don't mean that in a mean way.
No.
But I'm just saying, you don't leave your cell phone in a truck for 2 days. Not when you have, back then it was MySpace too. And then about the glasses. And we'll get to that part because she said he didn't have his glasses. And when you hear about the glasses and the hearing aids, I'll explain all that too. So go ahead and play. What that makes you think, man? Huh?
And none of those subjects can be verified. Dr. Gray will tell you the exact same thing. I had to go in, like I said, a week later and get prescriptions because he had no glasses whatsoever. He had no contacts. He had nothing.
No contact, no nothing.
No contact.
When you guys were at the funeral of Mackenzie, he had contact lenses in his eyes.
He had his nephew's contact lenses in, but did not. He probably didn't even have them in the whole session if you pay attention because they irritated his eyes and they were not the right prescription.
What did she say? They went to his eyes?
I was reading the comment.
Okay.
Well, I thought he got his glasses, his prescription glasses out of the semi because that's where he left them at.
No, he had an old pair of glasses, but probably like a year and a half old. It was not the right prescription. Like I said, I don't have to sit here and argue with you one way or another. You can call Dr. Gray's office and verify it. He did not have his prescription glasses. They had to be replaced. The hearing aids had to be replaced. He had to, you can sit there and make all the excuses you want and try to attack him, which is what you're trying to do. You're trying to build a case against him and you're trying to attack him. And you're doing it all out of spite, 100%. He done everything he could that night. He done more than I was able to do that night. And I'm sorry, I can't. There's nothing I can do to change that. That's the fact of the matter. He deals with this every day of his life. He probably deals with it more than you do.
Wow.
Yeah, that's really nice to say. But why would he have to replace hearing aids?
Because they were in the house also because he has 2 hearing aids, one in each ear. He always had.
Okay, well, most people sleep with hearing aids in their ears.
No, nobody sleeps with hearing aids in their ears. Shows how much you know. They take them out because they squeal when you lay down.
So what, you're telling me he's deaf without hearing aids?
100%. I've got a call. I'll talk to you later.
We just got
All
it. Hi, you guys. Now we're going to go back to what I was saying about the glasses. Okay. She said he didn't have no glasses and no contacts. They burned up in the fire. And his hearing aids burned up in the fire. Okay. And then she talked about the funeral. And she said, well, if I'd have paid attention to Kenny, which I don't know why I would be paying attention to him at my daughter's funeral. I'd be paying attention to my daughter.
Yeah.
And why I'm sitting here looking at a 3-foot coffin that I don't have an explanation for. But I should be looking at her boyfriend and looking at his eyes to see that he had contact lenses in. And she said that he wore his nephew's contacts. Okay, so there's only 3 nephews. There's the one that wants to whoop my ass, Michael Aaron.
Yeah.
And then there's Matthew Stiegels. And then there's Justin Stiegels. There's only 3 nephews. And none of them's come up and said, I didn't give them no damn contact lenses. Because I can tell you right now, you don't put somebody else's contact lenses in your eyes. Man, if that happened, you'd have pink eye, most likely.
You wouldn't be able to see all of them anyway.
And you wouldn't be able to see out of them. Right. So, how is he at a funeral and he's blind because he got somebody else's prescription? It's lie after lie. But, and then she said one thing that really, man, just hits me like a sack of, I mean, man. She said, Kenny did more than I did at the fire. Are you friggin' kidding me? This is our daughter. This is your kid. This is a child you carried for 9 months in your stomach. And you're going to admit that your lover did more than you did? So right there you already admitted you didn't do nothing. And then we all know with his lie, he didn't really do nothing either because he lied. And then the worst thing that she could ever say to me, and that's why I said, when you sit there and you tell me something like this, and you're going to still carry on that I want her, I wanted her back, when you just sit there and say, he's suffering more than I am.
Yeah.
That Kenny is suffering more than I am. But then we know all what Mike Stiegel said, the same thing. He's just a father trying to become a victim. Remember, that's what he said. I'm trying to make myself out to being a victim. So, but my question is, if you are blind, and you are deaf, okay? It's almost like Helen Keller. Helen Keller. So Kenny is more like Helen Keller. He's blind and he's deaf. Then how in the hell did he find the window in the smoke and bust it out and get out with no injuries? No injuries. And he's blind and deaf. How did he talk to my daughter through the bedroom floor and tell her to go to the window? How did he even carry a conversation? How in the hell could he find Mary Ann?
Right.
He's blind. Unless his dog, unless that's what his dog was. Maybe his dog, we should ask the dog. Maybe it was a, what do you call that? That lead the blind and deaf?
Seeing eye dog.
Yeah, seeing eye dog. So he's blind and he's deaf. But all this stuff, he was able to carry conversations with people. He was able to find people. He was able to, you know, and no one noticed that he couldn't see. No one noticed that he couldn't hear. And I guarantee you, I wish some of my witnesses were on tonight because they carried conversations with him.
Yeah.
The one that took this photograph, her husband carried a perfect conversation with him. And he's supposedly 100% deaf. But like I said, he ain't 100% deaf because you can't be 100% deaf and have hearing aids. You have to have so much of a tone. Now, he could be 95% deaf and have hearing aids as long as he has so much of a percentage of a tone. But she said he's 100% deaf. So if he's deaf and blind, how in the world did he do all that stuff that night? Is that maybe why he couldn't find the fire station in the red phone? He couldn't see it?
He couldn't see it, yeah.
But he could see getting in his truck and driving it. And that's the thing. He drove the truck away from the scene.
He drove, yeah.
He's deaf and he's blind. And he got in the red pickup truck and drove it to his mom and dad's house.
Yeah.
He also was on the phone, cell phone. So how did he hear anybody on the cell phone that night? How did he carry a conversation with anybody?
Right.
Because we have witnesses that seen him on the phone. He had a phone in his hand. And with all the commotion, think about this, all the commotion, sirens, the fire trucks, all that, the machine of the fire truck running to pump water out. How the hell could he even hear anybody carrying a conversation with anybody? But plenty of people talked to him. Because you know why? His hearing aids and his glasses didn't burn up in that fire. Because I'm going to tell you why, one reason why. She said, call Dr. Gray. Okay? Dr. Gray is Dr. Gray Atkinstein.
Eckert.
Eckert, yeah, Dr. Eckert,
Yeah.
which was our eye doctor. But I'm going to tell you right now, he surely didn't have Kenny's prescription laying right there in the office. You had to order the glasses, and then it takes about anywhere from a week to 2 weeks to come in. Hearing aids, same thing. He has to be retested so they can modify his hearing and then order the hearing aids. They don't have them right there. So these two things right there, the funeral was that Monday. We buried my daughter May the 1st. And he could hear pretty good at that funeral. He could see pretty good at that funeral. And I guarantee he wasn't wearing his nephew's contacts.
Well, he took a lie detector test that night.
And he took a lie detector test that night on the 27th. So how did he hear the lie detector test? Hell, how did he find the way to London?
I'd like to know if he's deaf and blind, how the hell was he a firefighter?
Yeah, I would like to know that too. He's deaf and blind. How was he a firefighter?
Mm-hmm.
And then again, if he's deaf and blind, how does he have a CDL?
Exactly.
Right.
You have to pass.
You have to pass a hearing test and an eyesight test to
Yep.
be to have a CDL.
yearly.
Yes.
Physical.
So
Physical.
how, if he's blind and deaf, did he get a CDL and he's driving trucks still today? And then on top of that, how's he driving and have a CDL when he's got nine convictions of DUIs?
Wow.
But that's the great state of Ohio that, you know, Mike DeWine runs, that he's fixing to be governor of. So, so a lot of questions on that one. And that tells me right there, because of she telling that lie. Because, I mean, you can tell that's a lie. You can tell it's a lie.
Yeah.
Absolutely, that's a lie. That man had his glasses or contact lenses in, and he also had his hearing aids. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And that tells me he didn't go to bed that night. Because you heard what she said to me. I said, well, people go to bed with their hearing aids. And I just said that to see if she knew the true answer. And what did she say? No, they don't. They take them out. They put them on the nightstand.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we all know he had his hearing aids in, because if he didn't, he wouldn't have been able to hear nobody.
Right.
Nobody. He wouldn't have been able to carry one conversation at that crime scene.
They wouldn't have been able to hear.
He wouldn't have been able to go that night and take a lie detector test
Mm-mm.
and hear the questions that were being asked. So, she lied. And that tells me he wasn't in that house and he wasn't in that bed. That's a fact right there. That's a fact right there. But the biggest key was she saying, he did more than I did. I'd have never said that.
Mm-mm.
But she did leave her child in the house burning. All right, go ahead and play the tape. We got to hear some more Helen Keller. Is that the end of it? No, it should. Oh, it might be. That might be where they, let me see. I think it is. I think that's where they cut me off.
Oh, so Marianne, feel free to pop in with answers. We don't care if it's on your Facebook.
Yeah. You ain't gonna bother none. Okay. That is. Alright, I gotta flip it over because there's some of the tape, a good little bit of the tape, and it's blank now, and I think the Fayette County Sheriff's Office erased that. So I'm gonna flip it over, rewind it, because there's another part on the other side. And I think the Fayette County Sheriff's Office erased some, what they didn't want to, Marianne was talking about to incriminate them. So, I don't have that on there no more. Because you can tell when I pick up on the other side of the tape, I've already started a conversation with her when I pick up on the other side of the tape, man. So all that other is missing. And you can thank the Fayette County Sheriff's Office because that's who had the tape and erased it.
Look at the picture.
Yeah. What's that name?
And comment on it when I was watching.
No surprise.
Not surprised.
You go, Linda. How many people we got? 82. And antique shit, man, I got here. Oh, we're still waiting on. It's playing.
November 15, 2007. What's option 2? Parties that agree to authorize holidays. Don't really have agree to discuss all holidays, birthdays, and breaks on the floor and shall work together and time parties that agree to option 2. You're going back to the
I know this is a little bit hard to hear, but what it is she's whispering right now. She brought me my divorce papers to where I work at. After my daughter died, she brought me these dissolution divorce papers to my job. That's what we're discussing right now on the table. And one of the reasons that she brought the papers to me was she was told, because it's kind of funny, she was told that if she married Kenny, which she hasn't yet today, but if she married Kenny, he would not be able to testify against her, and she wouldn't be able to testify against him.
Yeah, I know he was up there last night running his mouth. Some Elks Lodge? Elks? Yeah. I don't know, some girls come down here that know him, know both of you guys, and no, there was girls, it wasn't Brandy. No, because there was a guy named Mike with him. But he was up there, well, besides when he was up there, and they asked where you was, and he said, I ain't with that woman no more, and then, no, wait a minute, then he said something about me. He said, it's all my fault why you two ain't together and stuff. And then he turned around and he said, well, I gotta go see the police department in 2 days, Friday morning or something, about Mackenzie again. And he said, this time I'm gonna tell what I know. That's something like that, I don't know. That's what they said to me. I ain't seen him, so all I know is he was up there last night. Alright, so pretty much this is what money? And then you can stay here and still say you live in there. If I didn't got the bank account, you'd have me killed. So I'll reload this and then I'll get, what I gotta do is just sign this. I've got it. Public to do it. Don't cost me a dime.
Alright, I'm gonna stop it right there, cuz. Alright. This is, like I said, this is the paper she brought me to get a divorce. And a dissolution papers. And I gave her $150 and I signed them. I'm asking her where you sign at, and I sign them. Now, this is in 2007. This is a year, just a little over a year. No, just under a year of my daughter's death. And I didn't get divorced until 2011. So you know what she did with the $150 in the dissolution papers? They went to the trash, and she kept my $150. Because we didn't get divorced until January 20th, 2011. This was taped in 2007.
Well, you guys signed it with me at the same time when she notarized it. That's the only way to make it legal. What? Where are you taking my boys? No, I need to know.
I told you where it is. That ain't Castle, whatever it's called.
And your family gonna be there?
Okay.
Don't think my boy's gonna lie to you.
She'll hear it after.
Boyfriend?
We'll catch up.
Whatever.
So
Hold
deep,
on.
It's important, so deep.
No, they're playing that game anyways. I want to ask you a question seriously.
There you go.
I'm not trying to upset you. I'm not trying to make you mad or anything. I want to know one thing. One thing, seriously, and I want the truth. Night at the fire. Okay? With Mackenzie. I heard 2 stories. And all I want is the truth. I earned that part. That you two were fully dressed. You and Kenny. When you come out of the fire, out of the house. Ten years with me, then you were naked.
No, I never lived with you. But she wasn't there the last 4 years, but he was in the same bed. So, how do you know?
But he was in underwear and t-shirt?
Underwear?
But where did he get clothes from?
Dad brought his clothes. When I called them, Mom brought me from the party and told me.
Alright, she said, I know it's hard to hear you guys, I'm so sorry, man. But she said, I asked her where did you get the clothes? Because she said that he was outside in the alley driveway in his underwear. Then she said boxer shorts, but whatever, underwear, naked, standing there. Huh?
Boxers, underwear.
Yeah, and a t-shirt. Then she said, oh, he didn't have a t-shirt on. Okay, but now all the eyewitnesses, including Jamie the night that he left at midnight at the fire, he said that he had jeans on. And that's what all the witnesses saw. She said, I asked her, I said, well, where did you get the clothes from? And she said, his dad. I called them. His dad brought him clothes. Mom brought me a coat and a sweatshirt. And that ain't even what the witnesses saw her in. And the thing of it is I know one of the witnesses said when she come in the house, she was cold. So she gave her a blue blanket to wrap around her. So, but if she had a coat on, why would she need a blanket wrapped around her? She didn't get wet. I mean, nobody, you know, she didn't go in the house to save my daughter. So it ain't like they put fire hose on her. But she said, I called them. Wait a minute now. That means she was on a cell phone. When she called them to bring clothes. And that goes back to the truck. Running in the middle of the road, keys in the ignition, doors are open. And she said, his dad and mom brought them clothes. And they all had keys to all the vehicles. Because they were getting ready to go to Myrtle Beach that weekend. So, man, I'm starting to fill in who was in the truck. But then we got a witness also said that Kenny said I had to go down and move the truck. But is there a chance that the truck was already in the middle of the road and he was going to go move it?
Yeah.
But he couldn't get down to the, because the fire was already, you know what I'm saying, hot. But the truck is, like I said, a key thing to this. And, of course, the Fayette County Sheriff's Office ignored it. Number 2, here's the house. Here's a red pickup truck. And I'm sorry, but if I was a detective and I was roping off a crime scene, I think that red truck would be behind that yellow tape. Because that red truck is sitting in the middle of the road, running, it's their vehicle, their house is on fire, and it's an arson. But instead, Vernon, when he comes up and tells the mom, hey, your daughter's dead, and she says, so we're done here, because that's what she said to him, we're done here? Yeah, go ahead and leave. They'd go down and get in the red pickup truck and drive to Bookwater. They didn't even go to her mom and dad's house, which was right down, which I did in that live feed showed how close it was.
Yeah.
They didn't even go there. And Jamie already said it was almost a week before they even showed up. She showed up at her own parents' house.
Yeah.
She stayed right there where Law was. The Law Deputy Mike
her.
Stiegels.
Mm-hmm.
So, but she said she used the cell phone to call them. But she didn't make a 911 call. She wasn't even a 911 caller that night.
They were out for what, 20 minutes? 20
So,
minutes looking for a
here's
phone.
a cell phone. And then she said, like I said, she said she had a coat on. And they brought her a sweatshirt. Because when she came out of the house, she had on pajama pants. That's what she says. Pajama pants and a t-shirt. But that's not what Jamie saw her in. And that's not what she said in her own words. She said she was in a pair of shorts and a t-shirt when she went to bed.
Yep.
Jamie said that's what she had on that night. But then she's in pajamas and a t-shirt. And then Kenny's mom brings her a coat and a sweatshirt. And this is the thing, you guys, have got to understand. Why I'm getting pissed over this shit. She puts people there that night at that crime scene. She puts them there. So if I'm a detective, the first thing I'm going to do is go question everybody that she puts at that crime scene. And I'm going to ask them, did you drive the red pickup truck over there? Because she said you had keys to everything.
Mm-hmm.
Did you bring them clothes?
Yep, she said they did.
Because she said they did.
Mm-hmm.
And that was my whole question here. If Kenny's standing in the road with underwear on, only underwear, because his dad brought him a pair of pants and a t-shirt.
Yep.
She brought her coat and a pajama or a sweatshirt. Okay. If they're there at that scene, if these parents are there at that scene, you wouldn't think they went, and they knew Mackenzie was there. They knew Mackenzie was there, but then they didn't ask her or Kenny. What about Mackenzie? How about some clothes? Do you need clothes for Mackenzie? Does she need it? Oh no, she's still in the fire.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, here's your clothes. See you guys later. I don't want to stick around to this scene, man. Woo, no way. Well, I'm out of here.
Gotta go.
Come on, people. Come on, man. Come on, Vernon P. Stamper. Are you that friggin' dumb? I mean, seriously, are you that dumb? Right there, she's telling a story, and you don't even go to the Mossbargers and say, did you drive that red truck over there? Did you bring them clothes? No. No. Okay, Marianne's lying. Huh. I got a suspect. Because you have no reason whatsoever to tell the first lie about that crime scene. Not at all. No lies at all. And then you know she didn't make the 911 call.
Yeah.
And that's what kills me. That's what kills me. They knew, Vernon knew her cell phone was in that truck. And never pulled a phone record. Never asked for any phone records. Kidding me?
Mm.
You're kidding me. And you're going to prance around here and get on TV with fucking Mike DeWine and say, I'm the trainer. I'm going to train these cops, these new cops. Train them to do what? Here's what you're training them to do. Cover up. How to cover up a crime scene. That's what you're training. That's your training right there, Vernon. But, like I said, you guys, I can keep going and beating people and telling you guys it's right here. The answer lays right here. Right here. But some odd reason we cannot get this case to go anywhere. We cannot get anybody to say, whoa, man, I see what this man's seeing.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell's going on in Fayette County? How can this father have all this evidence, statements by the mother, tape recordings of the mother, evidence that proves that she lied, because, you know, on this tape right here, it's about to tell you how, remember how she exited the house.
Right.
All this evidence laying here, and Vernon P. Stamper is going to stand there and tell this community, I have no suspects and no person of interest. That tells me he is somebody that don't care about our children and our community. Sorry, but that's a God's honest truth. And I'm sorry that I'm the one that has to stand up, not only fight for justice for my daughter, but to prove exactly what these state officials are doing in our county. And I'm the only one that stands up to them.
Right.
And I know I'm not the only story out there.
Exactly.
So, you guys, you wonder why I'm asking for help. This is why I'm asking for help. There was no reason whatsoever for that child to die that night. None. And you guys got to understand, they are sitting over there in Dayton area enjoying life. Probably cooking out right now with a steak on their grill.
Not a care in the world.
Without a care in the world. Going to Walt Disney World every friggin' year, twice a year. Myrtle Beach, constantly down there. And I'm telling you, nobody wants to see these people in prison. I do. Because you know why? If they did it once, they'll do it again.
Right.
It'll be somebody else's child that goes through what Mackenzie. So, that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Go ahead. Getting angry. Where do they live at? And they brought him clothes to wear.
Pants to put on because he was standing out in his underwear in boxers in the driveway, yes.
So when he was up the ladder, going in and out of Mackenzie, he was in underwear?
Boxers, yes. And a t-shirt.
And a t-shirt.
Actually, he didn't have to show his dad like me, that's how I got off the set. Yes. He had a t-shirt on, so I didn't want to go out.
Stop that thing. Alright, right there she's talking about Kenny bringing his dad bringing him pants because, yeah, he was in his boxers. He was arguing with me. Yeah, he was in his boxers in the street. Here's my thing, man. Let me tell you guys something. If I was a Mossbarger, if I was Ken, I think his name's Ken Mossbarger, if I was him, and somebody's telling me that I brought clothes to a scene, that I turned around and left a child at that fire and did not call 911, because they didn't call 911 either.
Right.
If I did not do that, I'd be the first one to shut up Donald Brandon's fucking mouth. Hey, I did not take clothes of that woman. She's a liar. But, got a nephew, same way. I'm going to beat your ass. Why are you going to beat my ass? Mary Ann's the one put y'all there. She put every single one of y'all there out of her own mouth and out of her own statements. She did. Not me. I'm just investigating my daughter's death because I got a sorry-ass sheriff's office that won't do it. So, right there again, if I was a detective, I'd be at that house, and I'd ask those questions. They heard those tapes. Those tapes were turned over in 2007. They heard the tapes. Detective Brown listened to every word on that tape, just like everybody in the communities listened to it. And then going to turn around and go 6 more years without asking about the DNA or questioning these witnesses or going to these witnesses' houses that were around that night at that fire. And she even tells you, I went to this house and got a pair of shoes.
Yeah.
I went here. So she even told them where she went. If you guys cannot see why this has to be removed out of Fayette County, then whatever happens, happens. There's nothing else I can do. I've done everything as a father, as a friend, to make sure that Vernon P. Stanford answers to why this stuff didn't happen right here. I should not be the detective standing here to this community and explaining my daughter's death, and explaining why what went wrong, and explaining why it went wrong, and explaining why these people weren't questioned or asked any questions. I don't know what else to do. But a lot of people want to listen to these yahoos over here saying, oh, he's just trying to be a victim. He's just trying to get money from the community. He's just trying to, what was the other one that guy said, the other little scumbag that got on my live feed? I was trying to get money. I stole money in 2006.
Had nothing to do with her.
Oh, yeah, I didn't have nothing to do with her until after she died. You know what? Nobody, like I said, knows my life. Nobody knows how hard I fought for custody of my kids, and then I won. Right. And then for the next, and this is God's honest truth, I won custody of my kids in 2004. I got divorced in 2011. I fought every year for my kids, custody of my kids, because every year she kept taking me to court with a different lawyer, and I never had a lawyer. Never had a lawyer. So that should tell everybody everything. I didn't have a lawyer, and I still walked out there with full custody of all my children. And if you think I'm lying about how many times I've been to court, this should tell you right here. How many times I've been to court with that mother? 78 times. 78 times or 71 times, sorry.
71, yeah.
71 times I've been to court. And then you're going to have people get on there and say, I didn't care about my kids. I didn't care about, but I'm the one. And I'm the one that always took the kids to the doctor when they were hurt in the mother's care. I'm always the one that took them to counseling. Now, I got a letter from Paint Valley where the courts from Montgomery County ordered the mother that she could see the boys in a counseling session. And she quit after 3 meetings. And that was the last time she saw her boys. And then called the visitation center, and I got that letter and ended the visits with the boys. And that was in 2000 and because I want to make sure I'm telling it right. It was 2012. 2012. She ended all visits with her kids through counseling and everything at Paint Valley in 2012. So, for anybody to get on there and say I didn't care about my child, you can go to hell. And I can tell you another thing, you ain't man enough to come in my face and tell me that. See, that's the funny thing. They want to do it behind fake accounts and everything, you know, and then people would realize that when somebody sends a message to them saying I'm a thief and all that, if you go click on their picture and then you look at it and there's only 3 pictures, and it's a picture, the guy that was doing this just a couple live feeds ago, his picture was flags and guns and everything. Obviously, that we all know that was Kenny.
Wow.
Obviously, we know who was telling that story and using that fake account. But that's what I said. I know who cared about their kids. And I've got 2 boys that's been with me since 2004 in my custody. And I had 1 graduate last year, and I got 1 graduating this year. And anybody that known me during these years knows my kids were always with me. So I don't have to explain. I'm done explaining. I just told my story and I explained it. It's the last time I explained it. Anybody who wants to believe anybody else's bullshit, go ahead and believe it. Just like I told you, that Christy Yaters, she did it again. She's already, yeah. So you know what? Y'all want to believe that bullshit, then you believe that bullshit. But I guarantee you one thing. In the end of 2018, I will have the last laugh. I will. Guarantee it. That's the part we can't hear.
And ask for an argument. I just ask what I hear. I'm asking you what I hear.
I'm tired of arguing with her. I just want to know my daughter's death.
If it's true or not. Okay, now let me ask you another question. William. He tried to say that he was asleep in bed, he didn't know nothing about it, but that day, the next day when me and you was trying to get the plot and everything together, why was he running around town like a chicken with his head cut off? And then why was he the one that everyone said is the one that set the fire? Well, when I talked to your dad got pissed off at me saying, why am I pushing the issue of an arson when the fire was started on the computer desk? Because that's what William told him. It was started in the front room by the computer.
That's what the police department told William. They told me it was started on the stairs.
Alright, she said which I asked Marianne's brother about it, and he said, and Jamie Potter did say, when I got back, come to the scene, him and his brother Jeremy, they were in, like shock, you know what I mean? Because I can understand that. They were just told that their niece just died. And that's what somebody would be. That's exactly how they would act. You know what I'm saying? You're told that your niece, you got to think about it. People don't know, but, Jamie did live with me and Marianne years ago. And he changed that child's diaper. He fed that child a bottle. So he would act that way. That's how you would act. And because I asked him certain questions, and he said, I didn't pay attention where she was. I didn't pay attention what was going on. I was just told my niece is dead.
Right.
And anybody that loved Mackenzie, because like I said, Mackenzie was the greatest thing in the world. And Jamie babysitted Mackenzie a lot for us when he lived with us and stuff. So, he was around. So he would. And Jeremy, when I talked to him, same thing. He said, I don't remember because, man, I'm just told my niece is dead. And that's how you would act at a fire scene when you're told, right, a normal reaction.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Not sitting on the stairs.
Nope.
So, and that's the thing, man. Jamie knows. He does. He does know. I had custody of my kids from 2004 and still today. He knows that. He knows that. So, like I said, you guys, it just irks me because, and then on that tape, what she was saying is, and this is what she said, and that's why I asked Jamie that question, and like I said, I got the answer I should have got. Then, if he'd have known a little more, you know what I'm saying, then I would have, but I got the answer I would expect. I don't know, because I was, man, I'm devastated. My niece was, I was just told she died. But she said that she told her dad that William wasn't there, and he ran back down the street and woke William up. That's a lie. And we all know it's a lie because on William's lie detector test that he failed, they asked him, did you know the fire was already set before your brother Jeremy woke you up? And he said no, and he failed. That means for him to fail that question, he knew the fire was already burning. Mm-hmm. That's exactly what that question asked. And he failed. And he failed. And then he said, Marianne said, that the cops told him that the fire started at the computer. Really? Then, first of all, the cops didn't even know where the hell it started because they didn't even investigate. Number two, the cops wouldn't tell you nowhere where that fire started. Nowhere. So, right there, she put William back in the picture. She did. Not me. She did. She put her dad in the picture. She put the Mossbargers in the picture. These are her words, her telling me what happened that night at that fire scene. And her exact words was, because I asked her why William was running around asking everybody questions with his head cut off like a chicken. Because he was on the bicycle that day. I seen him when we were getting the plots for Mackenzie's grave. And her exact words was, because he was trying to find out what happened. And then I said, well, your dad got mad at me because he tried to tell me that. And then she said, well, it didn't start at the computer. They told me it started on the stairs. Which she knows that's a lie too. Because in her statement, she tells it. She said the insurance adjuster told her there was a circle in the front room, splash patterns all the way up the stairs, and the hot spot was in the foyer. That's what she said. And then I go talk to the landowner, the homeowner, John Perry, and he tells me, why would the insurance adjuster talk to her? They had no insurance on the house, no insurance on Mackenzie. They didn't own the house. They had and they were behind on payments. Why would they talk to them? So somebody knew about the pattern of that fire, and she's going to explain it here on the tape.
Because the sheriff's department will tell you whatever they want to tell you. Yeah. Nobody's in the car. Yeah, I am standing outside the car. I'm not in front of anybody. I'm not going to argue with you.
Who's that, Jimmy?
Put it down. Yeah.
No, stop.
I'm not going to argue with him.
No, because my boys are going with you. That means a lot to me.
Nothing to do with it. He's just as good as you. You want to worry about yourself.
You can stop.
And nobody is.
Alright, what you guys are hearing, if you can hear it, what that is Kenny Two-Waiter. Now, right there, I'm telling you guys, you got to listen to what I'm saying. He two-waiter. The day she was standing in my bar talking to me about the fire, she had the exact phone that was in that pickup truck. He two-ways her and he asks her, what the fuck are you doing in that bar talking to him? Why does it matter?
So he had his phone too then.
Our daughter died. It's our daughter. It ain't like I was fucking her in the bar.
Right.
So why would he care that she's in there talking to me about the fire and my daughter? Because you know why? He knew what she was doing. Running her mouth like she does. And tells lies. And he was afraid she was going to tell something that he didn't want me to know. And the funny part about it is, in this conversation, she says, but you can't hear it, and I'm hoping that I'll eventually can get all that pulled out. She says, how do you know I'm here? To Kenny. Because, see, he was out of state driving this truck. He had her followed.
Wow.
And then that person, which was probably Brad Mossbarger, radioed to him and said, hey, she's at the bar with him in the bar talking.
Mm-hmm.
And he's pissed. I mean, you can't hear him because she's walking out of the bar. She's trying to get away from me, so I can't hear all the conversation. But you can hear them her walking out the door, and that's what it is.
You can hear him say, get in the fucking car.
Yeah, get in the fucking car.
You can hear that.
He's trying to get her away from me.
Mm-hmm.
Why? If you're innocent, why does it matter if she's talking to me? This is our kid that died. This is our child. And I know plenty of parents who are separated or divorced and a kid dies. They come together.
Right.
It's about the child. But guilt was eating him alive because he didn't know what she was saying to me.
James said he was
Hell,
told.
he probably didn't even know that he probably thought she was ratting him out, telling it all on him.
Jamie said he was told both phones were in the house.
He was told both phones were in the house. But right there, she
They're
said,
both using them.
but I'm saying her phone was in the truck. She said that earlier.
Yeah.
It was in the truck, and she two-wayed me the day they were questioned. Because I even talked to Vernon P. Stanford, and I said, got a question to ask you, Vernon. Marianne just two-wayed me, and I called him right after she hung up with me. And he said, what are you talking about? I said, she said, her and Kenny were in there being interviewed by you guys. And she wanted to know if I had been interviewed yet. And she said that Kenny was still in there, and she was outside, and you guys wanted to know about the gas cans, and she kept telling you she didn't know nothing about no gas cans. I said, can I ask you a question, Bernie? He goes, what? I said, how the hell did she two-way me? How did she know my two-way number? If her phone burned up in the fire, she would not have remembered my two-way numbers. I mean, she's got a bunch.
Yeah.
And there's no way to remember, because if you all remember, they usually did like this. Star, 3, 2, 1, star, 4, 8, 6, 9. That was what a two-way number was. It was all numbers with stars between them. And you would have to remember that number to two-way me. And she two-wayed me. And I couldn't understand it because I thought the same thing, that her phone's, because she said she lost everything in the fire. Mm-hmm. Her license, her purse, all that stuff burned up in there. But she two-wayed me. But then it came out. She said that my phone was in the truck.
Where was his phone at, though?
But then again, the question to Jamie is, how did she call his parents if her phone was in the house?
Where was his phone at?
I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. He must have had his phone on him, too.
He did, because the witness saw him on the phone.
Because he's using it right there.
Yeah, he's using it right there, too. But, I mean, by then, he could have got a new two-way number, her two-way number, by getting a new phone. We'll just give him the benefit of the doubt.
Right,
but honestly, I don't believe the phone burned up in the fire.
Right.
All right, we'll go ahead and play.
I'm completely tired
No, I want to hear what he, no, but I want to hear what he's got to say.
Yeah, see, I want to hear what he's got to say. And then she starts walking out of the bar, so I can't hear it.
Why is he in this town and he sees you in the car?
Right here. He's not in this town. And right there, she said somebody's probably following me.
But yeah.
See, I can't hear this.
Well then, my boys.
Just keep him.
Yeah. I said, well, then I'm not going to send my boys with you because he's following her. And she said, well, then just keep your boys.
Yep, just keep him, Brett.
She's cussing me.
Bleep, 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 bleep.
Oh, she cussing me.
Yeah, they taught me to nice about it.
No, that's it, ain't it? That's it, ain't it?
Oh, that's it. When it goes from there, it goes to... But I think I can read it later on.
Yeah.
Because she talks about how she leaves the house and all that. I think that's the end of the bar. She left. Yeah. Alright, that's the end of, that's when she walked out of the bar and left me. You know what? I think what's erased is where she talks about how she left the house and stuff.
I think it is.
I think it is.
Let me see. No, right here, we're too late.
I'll be at the sheriff's department tomorrow, and I guarantee you, when the boys tell them that you forced them to kiss Kenny and hug Kenny and made them go see Kenny, I guarantee you, you'll never see the kids again, including on Thursday visits. Because she probably told him not to.
That's my son's telling. That's listen how all little they are. They're telling me what happened.
What did Kenny say to you?
He wanted to know, they were my mom, they didn't see them second. Kenny, my mom going to see him when I tell Kenny, it's all wrong. But what did, because Kenny asked us, my mom wanted us to know, that there's a girl with two boys. Like that.
What Kenny asked you guys when he had you in the truck?
That's what he asked us. Who's my mom's fault? Is that you guys saw her?
That must appear to him. Why didn't you tell him the report room was there? You call you guys liars or anything?
That's the end of it.
They're bawling his eyes out. He threatened them to find out who you was at Burger King with.
I'm not going to argue with you in front of the kids, just like I didn't argue with him in front of the kids. These children do not need to be put through any more than they already have, and yet you're sitting there giving them the physical, carrying on, making them feel bad for wanting anything to do with either one of us. So, you know, you're the one doing this to your children, not me.
Stop it.
Well, first of all,
Alright, that was my son, and what I was doing is, the mom come and got him, and she took him, she said she was going to take him to go get something to eat, and what she did was she took him to Burger King, met with this other guy and his kids, and then left there, without me knowing it, went to Kenny's job, had the kids kiss Kenny and tell him they loved him, even though she was just with another guy at Burger King, and he puts them in the semi and takes off with them. And then starts drilling them on what Mom and me are talking about. Has Mom been around me? Has, who was the guy that she met at Burger King? All this stuff. She put my boys in a truck. Didn't even get in the truck with them. Put them in a semi and he takes off with them. And then brings them back. And she'll talk about it here, I think, on it. But that's what she did with my boys. And then when they got home, they were crying about it. Because they did not want to see Kenny. And then that's how I found out. And then I two-way her, and that's what we're discussing. Why? And then she kept saying, well, you're the one drilling the boys. You're the one putting them in. No, my boys come in the door and tell me that they didn't go out to eat with you. You took them to Kenny's job and put him in the semi with him, and he takes off with them. And I'm not supposed to be upset. I'm not supposed to be pissed. Okay, whatever.
You know, Kenny does play a part in their life, just like Kim does. We've had this argument 100 times. I've told you 100 times over. Kim does a lot for them boys, and I would hate to think that you would have a nurse sit there and say she has no say over them boys because she's not their parent. She does more for them than you do. She's the one that's there taking care of them day in, day out, not you.
that's not.
Now you heard what she's saying. She's talking about my wife, Kim. And she said, Kim's the one taking care of them day in and day out. Where are you? Where's she? Remember now, she's telling everybody over there in Dayton that she's had these kids all her life. She's got pictures of them, all this stuff that she posts and shows that, just like my son's graduation. You know, she's got his graduation pictures, but she wasn't there. She didn't show up to his graduation. But I'm the bad parent. And then she getting mad because I tell her to keep my kids away from Kenny. He was a suspect in the death of my daughter. Still is a suspect in the death of my daughter. And even Montgomery County Court said he was a suspect.
You should not have took those boys there knowing you two are fighting and get them involved so he could grill them on finding out who you're dating.
He didn't grill them to find out who I was dating. He asked the boys where we went and who we went with. That was the extent of the conversation, period. They talked about Jeannie and Mike. They talked about, you know, if they were going to come over and visit on weekends with me. It had nothing to do with grilling anything. I had the whole conversation with the boys. That's the first thing I asked the boys. They weren't even alone with him 10 minutes when it's not even a block around the corner.
Now, you heard what she said. She just got mad at me, right or wrong, saying I was drilling my kids.
Yep.
She wasn't in that semi truck, but now she's telling you all what she asked the boys, what Kenny discussed with them.
Somebody asked if there's been abuse from Kenny.
Yeah, there was abuse from Kenny.
Yeah.
He beat a kid in 1999. He beat a 2-year-old for peeing the bed. He was arrested and charged with it. South Dakota gave him a choice of going to prison or to leave the state of South Dakota. Of course, the little weasel chose to leave the state of South Dakota and never return. He's never allowed in the state of South Dakota. Then he put my daughter in closets. He hung them on hooks. He threw shoes at him. He called them the nigger word. He, let's see, what was it? Oh, well, that was the mom. You know, if they didn't kiss him goodnight and tell him that they loved him, they didn't get any food or any clothes. And all this was reported to Children's Services. And Children's Services never investigated Kenny Mossbarger. Ever investigate him on any of these allegations. My son was burned 9 inches across the back. Kenny sicked the dog on my son Harrison, where he was cut 10 inches down his stomach, 5 puncture wounds. My stepdaughter, her daughter, was burned, 2nd, 3rd degree burns on her legs, and ended up catching gangrene because the mother and them didn't take her to the hospital. I go on and on and on about the abuse,
Right, yeah.
and they were never investigated on none of these allegations. And they weren't only from me, but they were also from referrals were sent from Paint Valley, our mental health center, where you take your children for counseling when you're going through a divorce. And that's the stuff that they were telling this counselor. And she even wrote on the paperwork abuse, neglect, and sent the referrals to child services, and they ignored every bit of it. Channel 4 News did a big story on it. There's actually a newspaper article about it.
I asked him the exact same thing. What was said? Did he say anything out of line? No, Mom. All he said was, did you guys have a good time? Where did you go? So funny. They get with you, and then all of a sudden it was so upsetting and all of this. Like I said, you make them feel bad for wanting anything to do. You know, I would never make them feel bad for wanting anything to do with Kim. I said, Harrison, there's a yellow rose there. You can have it. First thing he said is, I'm going to take it home and give it to Kim. That's wonderful, I said. That's wonderful. I do not make them feel bad for wanting anything to do with her because she is an important part of their life, and she is an important part of your life.
Harrison said the yellow rose Kenny thought your boyfriend gave to you.
He did ask me if I had some guy give it to me. I ain't gonna lie about that. And I told him point blank no, just like I told the boys exactly where it came from. I get one every Thursday at work with one of the older ladies in there. Her sister works at the hospital, and she brings the leftovers in on Thursday when they throw them out. It gives all of the ladies in there with their paycheck.
Well, Harrison's standing right here, and he ain't upset, and he just said that you beat him, and talked to him, told him you was going out there to see him with the boys, and he didn't want to see the boys or you.
No, he didn't want to see me because I was visiting with you, and he swears to God there's something going on. He never once said he didn't want to see the boys. He said, why do you think he took the boys around the block in the truck and I didn't ride? He doesn't want anything to do with me. I do understand that. That part of our life is done. First of all. Second of all, that's neither here nor there. That shouldn't have any concern of you. He did not do anything harmful to the boys. He would have never done anything harmful to the boys, and you know that. You're upset because here it is again, Rick's not in 100% control. Here it is, somebody else in Marion's life, and for some reason that bothers you. You've moved on with your life. You need to let me move on with mine.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to move on with each other's lives when I don't know what happened to my fucking daughter.
You know exactly what happened. We've been... So you're just, you were just fine with it today. You were going to sign papers and everything. You're just making excuses because you're spiteful that he is still in my life, even if we're not living together, sleeping in the same bed. He is still a part of my life, and for some reason you are so spiteful. But you were long gone before he ever came in the picture. You have no reason to be pissed off or hate him.
Alright, she said, even though we ain't living together, he's still in my life, and what we do is her business or whatever. And I keep saying, you heard me again, I said, no, I want to know what the fuck happened to my daughter. She keeps going back, that I'm talking to her because of him. Ain't got nothing to do with him. The thing of it is, if they're not together, but she's still part of their life, no, that is not the truth. What it is, they both know what the hell happened on 2006 on April 27th. And they ain't going to separate. And ain't it funny, still today they're together.
But not married.
But not married.
Or nothing, yeah.
Nothing there. And they're seeing other people, but they stay together. They live together, but they don't sleep in the same bed. Y'all can figure it out. I already figured it out what the fuck was going on.
Never, ever coming back to you with or without him in the picture. So you need to get over that. You need to realize I'm not ever coming home. We are done, and you need to just let it go.
I didn't want you back. Like I said, until I know what happened to my kid, I don't know what I'm gonna think, and I wouldn't want to be with you.
If you're sitting in front of Kim, you don't want me to go on about the conversations in the garage. You don't sit there and tell me that It had nothing to do with you being spiteful. I mean, I can go on the full detail on the way you were carrying on in that garage. It does have to do with you being spiteful. You are jealous for some reason of the fact that even though you moved on, he was in your place, or what you thought was your place. Okay, you might not be there now, but you were. And so now you need to let go of it.
Trust me, I've let go, Marianne. You believe that?
There's another time I'm
like I
telling
said, it's awful funny. I haven't said nothing to my boys. They came to me, and Harrison sat right down on the couch, and his exact word was, "Mom made us hug Kenny, made us give him a kiss. We got in his truck. He takes us for a ride to go see some woman named Red, his girlfriend. And while he's over there, he's asking us who their mom is seeing."
First of all, Red is Jeannie's size, and she's 50 years old. That's an ongoing joke about
Jeannie
being
Stiegel's
his
side of
girlfriend.
the friend.
He works the plant with him.
Red,
which
her
is
name's Red.
all right there in the same lot. He rode around the
His
lot
sister,
to the other
Mike
side
Stiegel's
of the
wife.
plant. Drop the stuff off. It's like a big GM plant. You know how big GM plant is. First and foremost. Second of all, I did not make them do anything. He come up to this car. They got out and give him husband kisses. And Harrison was the one that said, "Which truck's yours, Kenny?" And he said, "Mom, which truck's Kenny's truck?" And Kenny wasn't listening to him. He was talking to Douglas. And I said, "You'll have to ask him." And he took him over and showed him. And he came back and said, "They want to go for a ride. You care if they go for a ride." The boys wanted to go for a ride. I had nothing to do with them with the ride. But I wasn't going to tell them no when they were the ones asking. So they can sit there and tell you what you want to hear. They asked for the ride, and Harrison knows that.
Well, why was your boyfriend at Burger King with you and a lady and two girls? And then on top of that, when you were going out to Kenny's, you told the boys not to say anything to Kenny.
All I said is you don't have to. If he asks you about Chris, all you have to do is tell him you don't know who I was with. You
She's
tell him
telling my boys
whatever.
a lie.
I tell him they had to lie to me. All I said was there's no need to argue about it. And I told him the same thing. You don't need to ask the boys who I'm with or what I'm doing. He's moved on with his life. I've moved on with mine.
They didn't move on with their lives because they're still together. They've been together since the fucking fire.
Spend 5 minutes to tell the boys hi, and that's what I gave him. That was all I gave him.
Well, Harrison said the reason you guys were late coming back was because that's where you guys were, at Kenny's work.
Amen.
Okay, and there was no roadblock or nothing. I mean, you can ask him, and he can sit there and tell you whatever he wants. I can give you the information right now. You call the state trooper, whatever it was, exactly where it was and what road we had to go. I can get on my little map quest right now and get the book because I know what road we cut off of. And then you can get the number of state trooper, whatever, in that area, the city police department. Because the road was blocked, we did have to go out of our way. That is why we was late. Harrison knows that. They had the fire departments down there, the police, and the road was blocked off. There were cones across it. We come up to the road, and that was my back word to Harrison. I said, "This is great, because this is the road I need to turn on."
No, he said there was an accident. He did say that. He said there was an accident. But that's the thing, Marianne. You come to my work, and I ask you, a few minutes with me, and it ain't got nothing to do with me and you getting back together. A few minutes with me, but you can't spend time with me, but you're in a hurry to get back to where you were supposed to take my boys. And then on top of that, you take them somewhere else. You don't even contact me and tell me that you're taking them somewhere else.
Yep.
You meet up with your boyfriend, and then on top of that, then you take them out to Kenny's work.
Yep.
Look, I'm not going to sit and argue with you. I don't have a boyfriend. You know, it's awful funny. You tell an awful lot of lies because I don't have a boyfriend. I've got a friend. I work with a gentleman who has kids. I have a friend, and that is it. I also have female friends that have kids that I work with.
It's a friend, but she didn't want my boys to tell Kenny about that friend.
Come
on, man.
I would take the kids in there and try to fight through that crowd, point blank. And I told the kids the exact same thing. And I told them I'd make it up to them when they came back for the next visit, if there was going to be one. So, and I did not tell the boys, and you can ask here. And I didn't tell them to lie to you about Kenny. I said exactly on the way home. I said, as soon as you tell your dad, I took you by to see Kenny. Really. There isn't need to lie about it. Why would I just tell them to lie? I did not do anything wrong. He did not do anything to the kids. Nothing was done. He spent a whole 5, at the most 10 minutes with them, and we left. So no, that's not why we were late. We were late because of the accident, which was on the way home, way past leaving his work.
I know, but you knew already before you left my work you were going to go see Kenny, so why didn't you tell me you were going to go see Kenny?
I did say I had to go by his work. I did say I had money. He owed me money. I said, standing right here with you. And
She
you don't
didn't. Everybody
care
heard the
if I
conversation
didn't.
in the bar.
I said,
He didn't say nothing about, do you owe me money? He asked her, why are you there talking to him? Come
Remember
on.
that conversation?
She lies, man. It's
Yeah, I
all
remember that
fucking
conversation,
lies.
but I didn't think you said tonight, though. You were going to go see him tonight to get your money.
Yes, I did, because that was exactly what I asked him when he was cussing and carrying on and everything else. I said, I'm still coming down to take the money up, and that's what I told you when you said, well, I don't know why you're so worried about why you're talking to him. Are you all right? And I said, I'm fine. I'm going. I've got an appointment. I've got plans, which is exactly what I said and exactly what I did. And I'm going to go pick my money up. Like I said, I've told you standing right there in your bar, you're not going to control me. He's not going to control me. I'm going to talk. If I want to talk to Chris, I'll talk to Chris. If I want to talk to David, I'll talk to David. I'm an adult. Nobody's going to tell me that I can't talk to this guy or I can't talk to that guy. Your kids will not ever be around anybody that will jeopardize them or that will hurt him. And I would never turn them loose around anybody that would hurt him. So you don't have to worry about that.
Wow.
That ain't what I'm talking about. I don't care who you see. I don't care. I don't care who you're with. I don't care what you do. I don't care about any of that. The only thing I told you from the beginning of this was if you wanted to see your boys, I had no problem with that. And I wanted to know what happened to my daughter. That was the only thing I ever talked to you about.
Yeah, as soon as you found out that the boys seen Kenny, you're all pissed off and I'm not going to see the boys no more and everything else. Like I said, it has nothing to do with who I'm seeing. It's spite. You don't care who I'm seeing or any of that, so then why do you care?
Totally
if
avoid
Kenny's here or
Mackenzie.
Kenny's not?
Totally
Kenny's not
avoid
here, all of a sudden
Mackenzie.
it's okay for me to
Every
see the
time.
boys and
Every
everything
time.
else.
Every
Then
time.
all of a sudden I take the boys to see Kenny and he spends a whole 10 minutes with them and you're done and they're not allowed to be around me and everything else again. So it is Kenny and it is spite. And that's what I'm saying. That's something you're going to have to let go of and you're going to have to get over.
No, because I'm going to tell you something. As long as it is considered an arson and a homicide on my daughter, and they believe that Kenny is probably behind it, or William is, I don't want my kids around them.
Thank you.
Right.
Well, they don't believe Kenny or William is. They were both cleared just like you were with the
Never got
cleared.
and all of that.
Clear.
Everybody was
Never
cleared.
did clear.
That's why they
Never
are
did clear.
still and have nowhere to go because it was not an arson, because they don't know what they're doing, and because everybody that could have possibly done anything passed lie detector test, and everybody is cleared. So now they have no suspects whatsoever. They don't know what to do with the case.
This.
Okay, well, if everybody's cleared, then why in the world then? And you said a few nights ago about the dog being in the house, that there was no possible way anybody could get a house. How in the world then did that fire start inside that house with splash patterns?
I've told you, I've been explained all of that to you, and I'm not going to sit and go through it and argue with you over and over and over again. It's done been explained to you, Rick. I don't know what else you want me to do. I mean, there's absolutely no winning with you whatsoever. If you are not 100% in control of my life and what I'm doing, then you've got issues. And so, you're not 100% in control. Now, here we go again. I'm not going to see the boys. The only people you're hurting is them boys, because them boys had a good time, and them boys are telling you exactly what you want to hear. You want them to say, no, I don't want to do this. No, I don't want to be around this. No, I don't. They don't want to be in the middle of that. Just like if I told them that I didn't want them with you.
Asked her about a
there, I
question
would
of
never
fire.
do that, and that would break their heart because they.
And it went right back to.
I would never ask them to choose her or me, and that's what you are asking your boys to do. You are asking your boys to choose the man in my life or you, and it shouldn't be that way. They should be able to have you as a dad and still be able to enjoy spending time with me and my significant other.
Wow, man.
See, that's where
she
you're
don't have a significant other. She had a
misunderstanding
friend.
me, because like I said, you're not listening to what I'm saying. You're trying to tell me that sheriff department down there don't know what the hell they're talking about, and they're going to sit there. These are professional people that know everything about an arson, and you've already told me how this fire supposedly started with kerosene heaters, and you're going to tell me that they're stupid and everything else, but then I still got them, professional people, telling me, no, Mr. Branham, it is an arson. It is a homicide.
Professional people that have no clue whatsoever to go on. None whatsoever. Professional people that thought it was arson and thought it was started with kerosene or whatever and did not once check the fuel in Kenny's truck to see if it matched the pattern, right? Because he had a diesel truck sitting right there by the house. If they thought he done it and all of that and was leaning his way, why wouldn't they have taken the diesel out of his truck and tested it? Because it had nothing to do with diesel. It was 100% kerosene that was used. Because that was the only splash pattern they found was kerosene from the kerosene heaters that I burned. Over and over and over again. You keep telling me how professional they are, yet you wrote 100 letters about him in complaints.
Okay, right there. She said it was. They told her it was 100% kerosene because that's what the splash patterns were. First of all, it has never been told what was used. Ever. Was not told diesel fuel, was not told kerosene, was not told fuel. Until I did the demonstration with kerosene, and then when I talked to the fire marshal and I said, well, I already did the kerosene demonstration, and it didn't do this, it didn't do that, it didn't do this, it didn't do that, and he's like, I knew it wouldn't. And then I said, well, I'm getting ready to do one with diesel fuel, and he said, you're wasting your time, because diesel fuel and kerosene burn exactly the same. The chemicals are almost exactly the same. You're going to have the same problem that you did with the kerosene. So they only left one thing left. But she says she guaranteed 100% it was kerosene. It was a kerosene, splash patterns and all that. But that's the thing. At this time in 2007, we did not know there were splash patterns. We did not know there was a circle around in the front room. We did not know what was used. None of that was ever told. Ever. But she knew it all.
She knew.
Go ahead, hit play. And yes, I do not love her. Go ahead.
I never wrote no letter to them or about them or anything. The only person I ever did anything with was State's Attorney General's office. And that was because you had me investigated on $1,400.
Yeah, see? All that money I got, $1,400. And I was investigated, and I showed that.
You have made a complaint on the fire marshal and the county sheriff's department. I mean, according to them, you've done wrote letters up to Wazoo and complained about all of them, and they don't know how to do their job and everything else. Now, I guess they're, you know, this is the professionals you're talking about. They're lying, right?
When's the last time you ever talked to Detective Brown?
A few months ago that they didn't know what the hell
About 2 months ago.
And what was it about?
I was calling every month and checking to see where the leads were and where things were going. And like I said, if you're in the you don't need to talk to him because...
Alright, she just said that I asked her what was the conversation between her and Detective Brown was. She said, I called them every month. I'm telling you guys right now. I'm telling you. And it will probably be proven in the trial, but she only called Vernon Stanford 3 times. She only called Detective Brown once. She only called the fire marshal twice. She has never, ever talked to Ryan McFarland, and he's been on the case for 5 years. She's only met BCI once, and that's because they brought her in for an interview. And I know about that interview, and I know what it was 2 female detectives that went in there. It was Eva Hall and then another lady. And I know what that lady said when she come out, who was guilty. And that was the only people she's talked to in 12 years. That's all the phone calls she's ever made. That's it. And like I said, Ryan McFarland, she's never spoke to. He don't even know what she looks like other than by a photograph. So, but she called him every month to talk to him.
A couple of times, and he wrote letters of complaint and wanted to have him removed from the case and everything else. And he wrote letters of complaint about the fire marshal. Like I said, he must be making that stuff up, right?
Where are you getting your information from? Him?
That's what I just said.
Oh, you're going to tell me Detective Brown told you that I wanted him removed off the force.
That's exactly what he said. You have wrote complaints telling him about him saying he don't know how to do his job. You want him removed from the case. You wrote complaints about the fire marshal. You call the fire marshal all the time. Yes, that's exactly what he said. His words, 100%. I say.
Okay, then why are they still considering this an arson then?
You know, what if I had the answer to that question? I'd have the answer to all of them, wouldn't I, Rick? I just told you, these stand in your block every day. The only way it's ever going to be solved is if you've got the money to pay for a high-dollar private investigator who's going to come in and look at all the evidence. Because all they did is did a real quick look at the evidence. They looked at the fact that there was kerosene splashes on the floor or whatever, and that was it. It was automatic arson. They can't tell me what happened to the heater. I lived in the fucking house. I know the fucking heater was there. So if they can't explain that, they can't even find it. They said there was no smoke detectors. There were 2 smoke detectors in that house.
Stop.
The others might not have been working. That was my mistake.
Alright, right there, she said, they said there was no smoke detectors in the house, and I know damn well there were smoke detectors in the house. So, That's one of the things I wanted to show you guys.
Hmm?
Alright, this is right here. I want everybody to see that. That is an official paper right there. That is from the state fire marshal. Do you see it? Can you see it real good?
Yeah, let's put it down.
Put it over there in the light. Let them read the top. See the little badge thing? And then I want you to go down here. It'll say smoke detectors. Do you see it?
Right there.
What's it say?
Smoke detector. Detectors, smoke, none present.
None present. No smoke detectors present. But she lived in the house. She knew there were smoke detectors in there. Go ahead. You can play.
How do they not have signs of these things if they're professionals?
I don't know. But, okay, then explain. Somebody said there was kerosene upstairs.
There was a kerosene heater right outside Mackenzie's door. I told you that. One right at the end of the steps there in the hallway.
Stop the tape.
Two in the
Stop
living
the tape.
room, and one right at
J.D. Potter still on there?
As far as I know,
I'm
yeah.
not sure.
Yeah.
Okay, she said, yes, there was a kerosene heater in front of Mackenzie's door. I don't know if he was able to look up and see. I mean, you wouldn't be able to see a kerosene heater. But he said it was. But here's the question, too. Why would you have a kerosene heater outside of a bedroom door and the door closed because the dog would kill the rabbit? Why would you have the heater outside of her door? How was she getting any heat from it?
Good question.
Because there was no kerosene heater.
Right, no,
That fire marshal has no reason to lie. He said there was one kerosene heater and that was at the foot of the stairs.
Yeah.
And in the front room was an electric fireplace type, which has no gas, no fuel, no flame,
No ignition,
nothing.
right.
A light bulb
Mm-hmm.
that she said the dog knocked over and caused the fire. Go ahead.
her door. I said that 100 times.
Why would you have a kerosene heater outside of Mackenzie's door, knowing that on top of it already puts out carbon monoxide? Shut up!
It was in the hallway and she said that her
That's all right.
But I thought you said you had baseboard heaters in all the rooms.
All right, here we go.
I did. After she came to live with us, I did. We quit using kerosene heaters and I put baseboard heaters in her
Stop
room.
it, right there.
There was one in the
Now, you just heard what she said. She said when Mackenzie came to live with her, she quit using kerosene heaters because she put baseboard heaters in.
That's what she said. Yeah.
That's what she said. But she's blaming the fire on the kerosene heaters.
Right.
But she just said she didn't use them. And then she
Exactly.
said there was one outside Mackenzie's door.
Oh, doors, yeah. But she had
If the
baseboard heaters.
kerosene heaters weren't being used, they wouldn't have been lit. They wouldn't have been no kerosene in them. She wouldn't be pouring from one to another because she had baseboard heaters. That's
Right.
what she just said.
Yep.
Go ahead and play. Contradicting
one in
herself.
the kitchen down there, and then we had the big fireplace thing in the living room and the little power heater in the hallway living room area. Yes, after she came home. But before, and I did tell you that I had just put
Stop
running
it.
the kerosene about a month and a half, 2 weeks.
She said right there, I had a fireplace heater in the front room, a tower heater between the front room and the foyer, a kerosene heater there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, remember what I said. Kerosene heater uses no electricity.
No electric, right.
The electric fan heater was right there in the front room. The fireplace heater was in the front room.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Jamie said that he only saw a fireplace heater in the front room. He didn't see no fan blowing one, but it's
Mhm.
electric too. And remember what I said. That fire marshal said where the hot spot was, it burned from that hot spot to those areas.
Two of them.
Not from the electric heater to that hot spot, not from the fan to that hot spot, not from the kerosene to that hot spot. So, she's a liar. Once again, she's a liar. Go ahead and play.
Did I not tell you that?
Yeah, you did say that, but that's what I'm saying. I mean, and you said they were also empty, so how could there be kerosene spilled anywhere if they were empty?
See? She said they were empty.
Well, you know, when you carry a kerosene can from one heater to the next, and you pour it in one, and then it drips down the side and all of that, and you do that every single day, you know, the little pattern that you carry that can from one heater to the next heater to the next heater drips all that kerosene in your carpet. That don't come up unless you take a shampooer, and I don't even know if it would come up a shampooer. I'm not a professional, I don't know. But that stays in your carpet when it gets in there.
Stop it.
Was there...
Alright, she said, I asked her, I said, why, how could the fire be started by kerosene if the kerosene heaters were empty? And she said, well, it's from where I was carrying a can that was leaking from heater to heater to heater and filling them up, and then one of them spit kerosene out on the wall.
Yep.
Okay, here's my question to the detective. Okay, let's say, okay, fine. You just said you filled kerosene heaters. Alright? That did not work. She knew they didn't work, she just said it. Okay, that's what she said. When she filled that one up, it was spitting out kerosene on the walls. But then you light it. If the kerosene was the reason for that fire, and she lit it, she can be charged. Because she knew her kerosene were malfunction, which caused the fire, which caused the death of Mackenzie Taylor Branham. So if that was true, they'd already arrested her, and they would already charged her for negligence of filling up a kerosene heater that she knew leaked.
Negligent homicide.
And split-splashed all of the walls, but she still said she lit it. If that was true, then this would already be over with. She's the one that set the fire. She's the one that did it. She's the one that had the negligence of it, and it killed my daughter. Because that ain't what set the fire. Kerosene didn't have nothing to do with that fire. But that's what I told the fire marshal on them. Well, let's just charge her. She just admitted on tape that she knew that her gas can was leaking. As she was going from kerosene to kerosene, it was soaking up in the carpets, and she still lit them. So let's go ahead and charge her now. Then maybe if we charge her for this, because she admitted this, and this ain't true, she knows it ain't true, then she could say what really happened that night. So she got to tell them something to get out of this.
Right.
But no, they don't want to do that neither. Because see, I brought that up to their attention. Hey, she just admitted setting, lighting kerosene heaters that were not working. But here's the question too. The fire marshal's exact words was, we didn't find no gas cans, anything around that property. So if she's filling these kerosene heaters with a can, where the hell did the can go?
She said a minute ago she quit using them a month ago.
Yeah, she said she quit using them, but it's still,
Well, I mean,
I'm just saying, right.
That out.
But that's the thing. If she quit using them a month ago, why is she blaming the kerosene?
Right.
Because they were empty. I asked her, and she said, yeah, they were empty. But from using them all the time and going from one to another to another to another, and then lighting them and all that stuff. Come on, man, you guys. And then Vernon's going to think about this. You guys got to keep this in your head. Vernon keeps saying, I have no suspect, no person of interest. Go ahead, Ed, please.
Carpet on the stairs?
No, there was not carpet on the stairs.
Because from what I was told, there was no stairs after the fire. I mean, it burned the whole entire stairs. You even said that.
Yeah, which is where the one big heater that set, and that's what I told you. That's exactly why I keep going back to that, and I'm not going to argue one way or another because I'm not a professional. I know in my heart.
Right there, she said, yeah, that's right, the stairs were all gone. I told you that, because that's where the big kerosene heater sat. But she just said a month ago she quit using the kerosene heaters. So how, if she didn't like that kerosene heater, how did that kerosene heater cause fire? But right by that kerosene heater is where the hot spot was. Boy, shit. You know, like I said, when you're lying and you're trying to cover up the real true story and you're trying to find something to replace that story with, You're actually telling the truth. Who the fuck lit that fire? And that's why I heard that arm was singed.
We're being asked to rewind it a minute.
Oh, go ahead, rewind it.
I don't know what part they want.
That's fine, let them
A
rewind
little
it.
bit before what you just played.
Go ahead.
Kerosene about a month and a half, 2 months before all of this happened. Did I not tell you
Right
that?
there.
Alright, rewind it a little more.
Right there.
Okay.
Did. I turned,
Damn,
we
I'm
quit
good.
using kerosene heaters, and I put big 4 heaters in her room. There was one in our bedroom. There was one in the kitchen down there, and then we had the big fireplace thing in the living room and the little tower heater in the hallway living room area. Yes, after she came home. But before, right, and I did tell you that I had just put burning the kerosene about a month and a half, 2 months before all of this
Month
happened.
and a
Did I
half,
not
2
tell
months
you
ago,
that?
quit using them.
Yeah, you did say that, but that's what I'm saying. I mean, and you said they are also empty, so how could there be kerosene spilled anywhere if they were empty?
Well, you know, when you carry a kerosene can from one heater to the next, and you pour it in one, and then it drips down the side and all of that, and you do that every single day, you know, the little pattern that you carry that can from one heater to the next heater to the next heater drips all that kerosene in your carpet. That don't come up unless you take a shampooer, and I don't even know if it would come up a shampooer. I'm not a professional, I don't know. But that stays in your carpet when it gets in there.
Was there carpet on the stairs?
No, there was not carpet on the stairs.
Because from what I was told, there was no stairs after the fire. I mean, it burned the whole entire stairs. You even said that.
Yeah, which is where the one big heater that set, and that's what I told you. That's exactly why I keep going back to that, and I'm not going to argue one way or another because I'm not a professional. I know in my heart exactly how it is, and if they would have taken time to look at the facts themselves, they would have known that too. But they didn't. They come in, they had the dog in, he smelled accelerant, and that's exactly what they went with, 100%. They didn't. I told them I burned kerosene. I said I hadn't burned it for a month and a half, and that was it. They dismissed it. They didn't even ask for a kerosene heater set. They did not even care. If they would have set and got all of the evidence and sit and went through everything, this would have never.
We'll rewind it. Alright, she just said to the fire marshal and them that she burned kerosene heaters. And that she was burning them a month and a half. But she just said a month and a half to 2 months she quit using them. But then she tells them she was using them for about a month, month and a half.
Right.
I mean, either you didn't use them or you did use them.
Right.
And then she said that's why they didn't want to hear no more. Well, of course they didn't want to hear no more. They knew you're damn lying. You're fucking lying. All about it all. That's why they didn't care. And I guarantee you they didn't bring no dog in there and he just sniffed and smelled accelerant and that was the end of it. That's not what the dog does. Anybody knows this knows what the dog does. A dog will go in and that's where the dog does is he finds the hot spot. And then if there's accelerant used at that hot spot, he sits. So, like I said, she said, oh, they walked in with the dog for a few minutes and walked right back out and then that was it. It was arson. Automatically arson. Yeah, because it was arson.
Right.
Go ahead. Rewind a little bit and then. Alright.
That's what I told you. That's exactly why I keep going back to that, and I'm not going to argue one way or another because I'm not a professional. I know in my heart exactly how it is, and if they would have taken time to look at the facts themselves, they would have known that too. But they didn't. They come in, they had the dog in, he smelled accelerant, and that's exactly what they went with, 100%. They didn't. I told them I burned kerosene. I said I hadn't burned it for a month and a half, and that was it. They dismissed it. They didn't even ask for a kerosene heater set. They did not even care. If they would have set and got all of the evidence and sit and went through everything, this would have never went this far and it would have been solved. Because I guarantee, I don't know, you like I said, you've seen more of it than I have, but I guarantee if you look at the pattern they've got laid out there, where whatever they've got drawn out is exactly the pattern where my kerosene heaters are. And like I said, I'll sit and you can have them draw you a map and draw you the splash, whatever, their splash patterns, and come to me with just a map of the house and I will show you the kerosene heaters and then you can tell me if it matches up because I'll lay my hand to God it probably does.
Alright, she told me, if I would have them draw a map of the pattern of the fuel where it was poured, she could put a heater right where she said that she was going to heater, it poured. So she would be able to show you that everywhere that circle was, all the way up the stairs, the splash patterns up the stairs, she would put a heater to right where and it would outline their exact same path. But I'm going to tell you guys something right now. I know fires. I've seen fires. Everybody's seen a fire. And if you look in her front yard, right here in the front yard, all this big pile out here in the front yard. Do I have it? Right here. Big pile right there in the front yard. All that right there. Okay? Anything that's metal is still metal. Anything metal is still metal. So if there was a kerosene heater where she's telling them there all these kerosene heaters are, then they would already know where the kerosene heaters are.
They'd still be there.
They'd still be there. They're metal.
Burnt frame, pretty much.
Right, it'd be a burnt frame, but they'd be there.
Yeah.
So they wouldn't need to ask her where the hell a kerosene heater is. And I can guarantee you, she'd have talked to them about no kerosene. I can guarantee you that.
Alright, but then what? I don't understand what would have caused the fire then to set the kerosene on fire.
Well, here it goes.
I told you, the tower heater that they seem to say doesn't exist.
Tower heater.
That I know for a fact was there. I just turned it on right before I went to bed. I will almost play money, the dog knocked it over. And it had a kill switch, but that obviously didn't work if it was already hot. And it felt one carpet that had kerosene.
She said, right there, she even knew. She said, the tower heater.
Yeah.
Now she's saying it's the tower heater that caused the fire.
Right.
And that the dog knocked it over and set the house on fire. And she knew it had a kill switch, but it probably didn't work.
Didn't work, yeah.
Alright, go ahead, hit play. We're getting more and more stories.
I mean, I don't know all the answers. I'm telling you, that power heater was there. That power heater is completely 100% gone. And
Jamie's the only one that would be able to answer that. There was a tower heater between the
what time did you guys go to bed that
foyer.
night?
He said he don't know if there was one upstairs. I'm not sure. I wasn't upstairs much.
I don't know, Rick. I think it was 11:30 when I went up and tucked her in, make sure everything was okay, and checked the rabbit's cage. I don't know. That was a year and a half ago, and I know all of the important things, all of the things that happened during that will not ever go away. But the little things, like one time we went to bed, we finished watching that stupid Mythbusters or whatever. I went up, tucked her in, and everything, turned all the lights off, did all of that, and went to bed.
Rewind that again.
I don't know, Rick. I think it was 11:30 when I went up and tucked her in, make sure
She didn't go to bed at 11:30.
checked the rabbit's cage. I don't know. That was a year and a half ago, and I know all of the important things, all of the things that happened during that will not ever go away. But the little things, like one time we went to bed, we finished watching that stupid Mythbusters or whatever.
Stop
I went up, tucked her.
Alright, somebody explain what she just said. I'm trying to... She said all the important things will never go away. But all the little things like the heater, the
time they went to bed,
the time they went to bed, and the what they watched on TV, which was Mythbusters, which did go off until midnight. Fire marshal already found that out, so she didn't go to bed at 11:30 because Kenny and them were still watching Mythbuster at 12. And if I'm right, Jamie said that's what he was watching, Mythbusters. So Jamie would know. He's the only one who would know this. At 11:30, did Marianne go upstairs and tuck Mackenzie in bed and kiss her goodnight and lock the rabbit cage? Because that's what she said she did.
Didn't Jamie say you left at midnight?
Yeah, between 11:45 and midnight, somewhere around there.
So yeah, she didn't
Yeah.
get that until 11:30.
Go ahead, hit play. But why wouldn't you think? Why wouldn't you remember the important things?
Right.
You would think
Not the little things. The important things. Go ahead.
Did all of that and went to bed.
And went to bed. But that's a lie, because Jamie said they let the dog out to use the
now,
restroom.
if you went upstairs and
and all
tucked
that
her in, then you would have noticed that her bed was on the other side of the window, right?
Yes, I did say that, but I also said he was the one that went up the ladder, not me. Do you remember that whole conversation? I was over being on
Kenny didn't go up the ladder.
Somebody to get up and call 911.
Right.
Yes, that's what I have said. And I told you that thing in the garage the other day. I went through everything in my head. If I would have just took 5 seconds and thought things out, you know, everything could have been different. But in the heat of the moment and running around like that, you don't have time to stop and think. No, I didn't think about the bed being moved because I was too busy trying to...
she said right there, she said, first of all, she said, I asked her, you knew where Mackenzie's bed was. Because I never understood why they didn't put the ladder on the side of where the house wasn't burned. Which I showed that, you guys. This side right here. Alright? There's no damage to this window, and that's where Mackenzie's bed was. This side is where he put the ladder, and you can always see all the black going all the way up it. All the way up it. But this side, there's nothing. Okay? Which is also the side faces the alley where the fire truck's coming down the road. He's coming down this way. He would see him on the ladder. See what I'm saying? Out back, the fireman ain't going to see somebody on the ladder. Out back behind the house till they get off the truck, get out of the truck, and they start fighting the fire. So, but she said he went up the ladder. We all know he didn't use the ladder. But even let's say he did, she knew where her bed was. And she said, remember, I ran around the house and met Kenny out back. He was putting the ladder against the house. Why wouldn't she tell him, hey, Kenny, she's not at this window, she's at this window.
Right.
Right.
So, once again, and then these are questions that are important questions. But he didn't use the ladder. But then she said, rewind a little bit.
Jamie said about when she went to bed.
Yeah.
He said, yes, Mac went to bed, was in bed before I left around 11:45.
Okay.
She would have went up after Kenny and I walked outside. And then he says, 12-ish, we went outside to get the food, and I left. Mac went to bed around 11:45.
Okay.
That's what he said.
So she didn't go up at 11:30 and talk her in. Go ahead.
Call 911.
Oh,
Well,
rewind
when
that.
you went out the garage,
Can't miss that one.
Can't miss that part.
Can't miss that part. Go ahead.
Yes, I did say that, but I also said he was the one that went up the ladder, not me. Do you remember that whole conversation? I was over being on the neighbor's door and getting somebody to get up and call 911.
Stop it.
right?
Right there. I just caught that.
Mm-hmm.
You heard that, right?
Yep.
He was up the ladder.
Yep.
I went
I
over
went
across the street,
to
started
call
knocking on
911.
neighbors' doors.
Yep.
No. That's not what she said. In that other statement, she said she ran around the back of the house and met him out back
Yep.
as he was putting the ladder up there. And she also said he was in his boxers, shorts, underwear, whatever, on the ladder going up to get Mackenzie.
Right.
She wouldn't have known he was on no ladder if she said he went to the back and she went already took off the... But then again, like I said, what are you leaving your child for? Why are you leaving your child? Your child don't want him. Your child wants you. If she talked to her like she said she did and all that bullcrap that she told the newspaper. So, but she said I ran and started knocking on the door across the street. Now hold on. That is not what she told the fire marshal. She told the fire marshal they went between, remember that house I showed where they came out?
Right.
They went between John's house and the old lady lived next door on the alley. And they banged on his door, and he would never answer his door, so then she and him went out on Maple Street and went to the greenhouse first.
Right.
That ain't what she just said there. She said she left Kenny at the house, and she went and knocked on the door. Across the street. She didn't go across the street. And that's why John Mulver said what he said. Nobody banged on my door because of my dog.
Right.
It would have woke me up.
Yeah.
Nobody banged on my door. Go ahead, hit play.
Yes, that's what I have said. And I told you that thing in the garage the other day. I went through everything in my head. If I would have just took 5 seconds and thought things out, you know, everything could have been different. But in the heat of the moment and running around like that, you don't have time to stop and think. You know, I didn't think about the bed being moved because I was too busy trying to get someone up and get someone to call 911.
Well, when you went out the garage, I mean,
She said she didn't, in 5 seconds, she said she wouldn't have known because the bed was moved. Why would my daughter move the bed?
Yeah. She was just up there.
And she was just up there. She said she
Yeah,
went up
she
there,
was just
tucked
up
her
there.
in bed, gave her a kiss, and then
Right.
she said, well, I don't know where the bed would have been because she moved the bed.
Moved bed, yeah.
I know my daughter did not go in the bed and lay down to go to bed. She kissed her goodnight, rocked her rabbit in the cage, went downstairs, and my daughter got up and said, hell, I don't want my bed over here. I'm going to move it over here. Come on, people, man.
If she did, you'd hear her moving it.
Man, come on. I mean, it ain't that. My child was only this
I know.
big around, man.
I
And it
know.
was it had wooden legs. It was my daybed that I gave to her. It was a daybed with wooden legs and metal.
Mm-hmm.
And to move the bed, she would have to move whatever was over, wherever. I mean, come on, you guys, man. Come on. Come on, Vernon Stanforth. Come on.
House to John's house?
No, my garage comes out the front. I went out the front door and down the alleyway to John's house. Yes, and he was up.
Right there. What did she say? What did she say?
Front door.
I went out the front door
to
John's house.
To John's house.
Down the alley.
Mm-hmm.
That's what she said. We all know she didn't go out that front door. Or, yes, she did go out the front door after they lit the fire.
The fire, yeah.
But I'm going to tell you right now, she did not get out of her bed and go down that foyer and out the front of that friggin' house, man. She didn't do it. She didn't do it. She didn't do it.
Well, when you went out the garage, I mean, where'd you go? Behind the house to John's house?
No, my garage comes out the front. I went out the front door and down the alleyway to John's house. Yes, and he was up trying to get her.
The front door.
See, I caught her.
Mm-hmm. She knows it.
The front door what? I don't know what you're talking about.
She knows it.
When you ran, you said you ran out of your bedroom, through the kitchen, into whatever you called it, some room, and then out the garage. You ran out the front of the garage or the back of the
See, I
garage?
changed it. Hold on.
The front of the garage. The back of the garage, all it had was a belly door. The front of the garage, the big garage door. I swung the big garage door open and went out through that.
No, she didn't.
She just said she went out the front door.
It was open.
I know. Hold on. Hold on. We all know she didn't go out that garage door either.
Was the upstairs bathroom on fire? Because I was always trying to figure out why Kenny never got up on the semi and up on the garage and go through the bathroom.
The garage wasn't attached. There was no way to get into the bathroom through the garage. You had to go on the back side to get into the bathroom. First of all, the window above the window on the garage side of the bathroom was not actually above the garage. First
Stop it. All right, she said, this is it. Because, see, I got it, baby. I got the evidence. She said there is no window above the garage. And then she also said the garage wasn't attached. We all know the garage is attached to that house. Right here's the garage. Right here's the house. But she said you had to go, there was only one window, and it was at the back of the house into the bathroom. What's that window? Is that a window?
Yep.
Is that above the garage?
Sure is.
Is that a window?
Yes, it is.
Okay. I just want to make sure
We got
we clear
another
that
picture
up.
of it
That
here.
there is
Sure,
a window.
sure,
And
here
then
too.
I said, all you had to do is get on the semi, get on the roof, and then go through the bathroom window right there. And it is above the garage door. Or the garage, I mean. It's on the roof. Right there's the window. And look, right there's the fireman's ladder going up to that window. Wow. That is a ladder, right?
That's a ladder.
This is a photograph, right?
Yep.
Okay, just want to make sure.
Yeah.
We had that clear.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me get back over here.
To get into the bathroom through the garage, you had to go on the back side to get into the bathroom. First of all, the window above the window on the garage side of the bathroom was not actually above the garage. First and foremost, and the garage in the front half of the house was completely engulfed. The back half of
The
the
garage
was not.
house
That's why you
was
can't-
completely engulfed.
And like
The
I
garage.
said, in the heat
The garage
of
was
everything
completely engulfed.
Well, how'd she
going
got the
on
garage
and
door?
everything happening that quick, you just don't think. And the first thought was the ladder was sitting right there behind her window anyways, leaned up against John's barn, and that was his first thought.
Well, why didn't Harrison said y'all had a bedroom door, a door that lead outside in your bedroom?
I know. I had a dresser in front of it. That's what I said.
Stop
I
it.
told you. I didn't think.
There you guys go. She has said it. I had a dresser in front of that door. Couldn't go out that door. That's what I told everybody. The fire marshal has the evidence that shows that. We all know she just said, I can't go out the garage door because it was engulfed. She said, I can't go out the back door. We all know that was barricaded. And in that statement, in the written statement, the email statement, she said, I went out the back door. Remember? I've already showed that.
Yeah.
She changed it and said she went out the back garage door. And we all know she didn't go out the back garage door, and I showed that statement on my page. And then I showed the fire statement where the firemen said they had to use axes to cut that door down. Okay? And now she just said, I couldn't go out this door. This is her bedroom, the door next to her bedroom. That's why I said it used to be a dining room and it was their bedroom. Because it had a dresser in front of it. Because I'm going to tell you, her first, when I caught her, you know what I was saying, and if everybody heard it, I tripped her up. I said, how'd you go out of the house? I went out the front door. Then I said, the front door? And then, man, you heard her. She started it up. And then it went, she didn't answer nothing. And then she said, no, I went out the garage door and swung the door open. The garage door open. We all know damn well she didn't go out that garage. That's the garage right there. This is the garage. This is the house. Man, she didn't go out nothing. I'm telling you. I'm telling you right now.
And out through the laundry room and out through the garage. He busted through a window. I didn't think about any of that. I didn't think about throwing the...
Rewind that a little bit.
It said y'all had a door, a bedroom door, a door that lead outside in your bedroom.
I know. I had a dresser in front of it. That's what I said. I told you. I didn't think anything through that night. I ran out through the laundry room and out through the garage. He busted through a window. I didn't think about any of that. I didn't think about throwing the...
That's the end of it.
That's awful sketch.
Yeah.
How it just ends like that.
Well, that was in the tape.
End of the tape. Oh, that was the tape.
Alright, so she said, right there, you guys, and then she said I went out the garage. But then, like I said, I got a statement where she said she went out the back door. And then I proved that wrong. So, she's told 3 different ways that she exited, or 4 ways that she exited that house.
Yeah.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Only one of them is true. And that's that front door. But like I said, she's got a statement where she said I went out the front and ran around the house and met Kenny out back. Then you guys heard her right here on the tape. She said she didn't know Kenny went out back, grabbed the ladder. She ran ahead and went across the road and started knocking on doors to call 911.
Yep.
And so now you guys understand. Vernon and them have heard this tape. They've heard this tape. They've heard the other 2 tapes that mysteriously are gone. They heard them. But they're going to sit here and tell me I have no person of interest. I have no person or no suspects.
Yep.
There ain't no friggin' way. No friggin' way you can stand here and tell me as a father that you have nobody with this as evidence. This is my evidence right here I collected. And I showed a window above the garage where my daughter could have been saved. A pole that goes all the way right here at the top of the roof, man, right at the peak, all the way down beside Mackenzie's window. Now, I also did something is I counted the siding. All this siding I counted up to the bottom of that window. Okay? Everybody knows siding is usually 4 to 5 inches wide. That's the size of the panels. And when you count them all the way up to that window, that is almost a 5-foot drop to the ground. And you can't tell me a 200-something pound guy, 6'2", jumped through that window with no injuries, landed on the ground. And like I said, she said then she changed it and said that she and Kenny went down through over to John.
Yeah.
That's what she said. So many different stories. And this is one tape, one conversation, not even an hour long. And look at all the difference in the stories. Look at all the difference. But one thing I caught on that tape is when I mentioned that front door, she realized what she just friggin' said. She caught herself. And she started to stutter, and then she got off the phone, then she come back on, and then it was, I went out, I slung the garage door open. How did you swing that garage door open when the awning of the garage is laying towards the ground? And right here, we got a good picture. Right here, you guys. Look at the whole front of this garage where it's on fire. And there's the awning all the way down to the ground. So how did she sling that garage door open? The whole front of the house is on fire. And she went out that garage door. Bullshit. And she didn't go out the back door because it was barricaded. And Jamie can verify that. Bullshit. And she didn't go out that door because she even admitted that it was barricaded with a dresser. Bullshit. So what way did she go out of that house? The front door. And the only way she could go out that front door is she would have had to light that fire, or Kenny and her had to light that fire as they were going out the front door. Because any other way, she would have been burned. She would have been burned. And that fire marshal said that the hot spot was right inside the front door. So for her to be coming out that front door, she would have been burned. So would Kenny. So that means the fire was set after they went out the front door. Man, you guys better pay attention. And this is what I can't get the Fayette County Sheriff's Office to see. What I am showing everybody in this community. I can't get it because they don't, because I told y'all. Mike Stiegel, there was a reason this fire was set. And the reason this fire was set is because they did something to Mackenzie, and then Mike Stiegel went up there to revive my daughter, and that's the DNA. I don't care. If somebody can prove me wrong, prove me fucking wrong. I'm fed up with it. I'm tired of it. This is the whole reason I'm going to Washington, D.C. Because I show you guys evidence of what happened that night. And out of her own mouth, what she said. And we know she's lying about everything she said. Everything. And you don't have no reason to lie about a fire. None. And my kid's dead and she knows the truth. If somebody can prove me wrong, prove me wrong. Come here and prove me wrong that I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Can you prove me wrong?
No, I can't.
Can you prove me wrong?
Sure can't.
Because you're right.
And every time I talked about my arson and my child, she kept throwing Kenny in, and how I was jealous of her, and how I wanted to be with her and control her. Man, you got, I'm telling you now, I can prove it. I got 3 kids after me in that fire. After that fire, I got 3 children were born. 3. But if y'all think I had something to do with her, that ain't what it is. She didn't want to talk about the fire. And that's why Kenny two-wayed her when she was in my bar, because he didn't want her to talk about that fire. So that's the whole reason, you guys, right there, of why. I can sit here until I'm blue in the face, man, and tell you what happened that night. And there ain't a single person at that Fayette County Sheriff's Office that can prove me wrong. And they can't sit there and tell me they don't have a person of interest and a suspect. They're liars. They're liars, man. And my baby girl died. A horrible death. And she's got, and I'm going to say this because it's true, she's got 2 uncles and 2 aunts, a grandmother up north, a niece, and a family right here that cares what happened that night to that child. And for Fayette County Sheriff's Office to do what they're doing to us and to make me, re-victimize me, because I have to live my daughter's murder. You guys, I do this because I'm trying to show a point of why it's got to get out of Fayette County. You don't think this bothers me? It does. You think that I don't think about this every day? I do. And I sit here and sometimes I cry my eyes out wondering why. How can I see something? How can this community see something? But that friggin' sheriff's office can't see it. They can't see what we see. They can't hear what we hear. Trust me, I would not ask for people to help me to get the funds to go to Washington, D.C. if I didn't think there was a reason. And there is a reason. And that's what matters. My daughter matters. These yahoos that get on here and run their mouth that they don't know me and I'm just trying to be a victim. And man, if I didn't care about my child, you think I'd really waste 12 years of my life? I'd be doing the same thing she's doing, going on vacations. Obviously, she got enough money.
Right.
It ain't about that. And that's why I said I need a lawyer. I need a Washington, D.C. I need charges brought against Fayette County Sheriff's Office. The only way it can be done is this community to help me get to those destinations so that this can be explained to the right person. Because being here 12 years in Fayette County, obviously it hasn't gone nowhere. Obviously nobody's heard anything because Vernon P. Stanford and Mike DeWine are stopping it from going anywhere. All I'm asking is to help this child, Mackenzie Taylor Branham, get justice. That's all I'm asking for. And that's not much. I would do it if it was somebody else's child. They're going to keep bringing in about the money. They're going to keep... And I just proved it. All I got was $1,400. That's it. From my... She admitted it. and then had me investigated. We talked about it. Of course, she didn't want to answer it, but she knew what I was investigated for. $1,400. Hell, she got one check from Vince Chinchilla for $5,000. And she's bitching about me getting $1,400, and $1,063 of that was to bury my child that I was entitled to get back, because the state of Ohio does that. It ain't because I asked. But you know what? I did one thing that she didn't do. Or I didn't do one thing that she did, I'm sorry. That I just found out. She went to the damn Social Security to cancel out my daughter's Social Security and asked them for the $250. And they told her that my child was 8 years old, didn't have a job, so she ain't entitled to $250. And she told him she was going to sue him.
The survivor
over
benefits?
$250.
The survivor benefits or something?
No, we get nothing.
Well, I mean, whatever. I think that's what it's called, though, ain't it?
Yeah.
But
survivor benefits.
But you have to be like 15, 16. You had a job, a teenager that worked. You'll get that money. But my daughter was 8 years old. She didn't work.
Right.
So there's nothing.
There's nothing there. Yeah.
But she was going to sue them over $250 that she thought she was entitled to.
Wow.
Just like if anybody would find the reverend in Jeffersonville when she tried to sue them for the $1,000 they collected that helped pay for the new headstone, that she said it don't go towards the headstone. That's my money. That's what she told a reverend. You guys, you see, that's what I said. You guys don't know nothing. And these little yahoos out here that keep getting on my live feeds and saying they're bullshit, I can sit there and eat. But you know what? It ain't about that. I'm not going to fight over the money and who did what or whatever.
Right.
It's about justice for my daughter. And it's about a sheriff's office that obstructed justice, preservation, mishandling, tampering with evidence, and negligence. That's what's important.
Yep.
That's what matters. I can sit here, like I said, and prove this case over and over and over and over. But nobody in this county is listening. They don't care. Because we obviously heard what the prosecutor thought about it.
Yeah.
We already know Vernon's P. Stanford's version of it. We already know Ryan McFarland ain't done shit in 5 years. We've already been in the commissioners 5 times. I've been everywhere in this town. It ain't going nowhere. It's got to go out. And all I'm asking is to help me with the funds to get me to those designations. And I promise you guys, when I go to Washington, D.C., it will be live. You'll know I'm in Washington, D.C. You'll watch me fill out those paperwork and file that claim. When I go to Mike DeWine's office, you'll see me live. Because I ain't doing nothing behind closed doors anymore. Like I said, I proved it tonight. We all listened to her. That was her. That ain't nobody else. That's her. And we all heard it. And her explanation of this right here, what happened. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you got baseboard heaters, why the hell would you have 7 more heaters in your house lit? An electric fireplace, a fan heater. And then you also, at the top of the stairs and in one of the bedrooms, they also had, like I was telling you, those radiator heaters. And then Jamie's even told everybody that he also had a salamander heater shoved in the furnace and lit it. Why would you need that many heaters at the end of April and at 45 degrees? Because that's what the temperature was that night.
Yep.
45 degrees that night. Because there was none of that stuff. There was a salamander heater. There was an electric fireplace heater.
Yeah.
There was one kerosene heater that wasn't operable. That's all that fire marshal said was in that house. So, I know who killed my daughter. I know who's behind my daughter's death. You all heard it yourself. And like I said, if anything, if the Mossbarger were smart, they'd come forward. And they say, she's lying. I didn't bring clothes. Or is the reason that they're not saying anything is because they did go to that fire.
Right.
And they drove that red truck. But you know what? When I get the right person on this, they'll answer then. And that little Michael Aaron Ratliff dude that thinks he can whoop my ass, he's going to answer to it. But right now, he's wondering if they're coming to get him for his warrants. So, like I said, those would be the smart people to come forward.
Yeah.
You didn't have nothing to do with it because Mary Ann put him there. We heard it.
She's done it.
We
Yeah.
heard it right here on the tape.
Yep.
Who she called. But like I said, she told her brother that phones were in the house, burned up in the fire. So, how did she call him?
Right.
And then you heard her say, I put the phone in the car the day before
yeah.
the fire. Come on, you guys, man. We all know what happened that night. We all know what happened that night. The problem is, why can't we get justice? Why can't we get answers to why? Why? And for Vernon to sit there and say, yeah, we can prove that she's a liar, but a lying is not a crime. I'm sorry, but this lie is a crime.
Right.
Because my daughter was horribly murdered in that house. And like I said, you have no reason to tell the first lie. And where she said about, you know, the important things, she wished she could remember the important things, but she can remember the little things. She damn sure couldn't remember how she got out of that house. She told 4 different stories how she exited that house.
Right.
And that would be an important thing to remember. And then she said, I don't even know where Kenny went out. He just said he went out the window. He told her he went out the window. You mean you don't woke up out of bed? First of all, usually they don't split up. Most couples don't split up because, you know, why would you lose another one in the fire?
Right.
So they would have been together. Kenny said they both went out the window. There's another way. You know, they both went out the window. She said she didn't go out no damn window. Who's lying? Is Kenny lying or is she lying? But like I said, it goes right back to the key thing. You have no reason to lie. So how can Vernon Stanford sit here and tell everybody in this community, everybody in this world, I have no suspects and no person of interest?
Right.
You're fucking lying. Because I do. I do. And I bet this community does. So all I can say, prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. And I'm still waiting.
You know they'd love to.
I've been still, oh yeah, I know they would.
I mean, you know, yeah.
I'm still waiting, patiently waiting for them to prove me wrong. But I'm going to tell you how they're going to, when it'll all come out, when I make it to that Washington, D.C., that trip will prove a lot. Because that sheriff's got to answer to some big wigs. And remember, that's his favorite spot to go to, remember?
Yep.
He likes to go there and shake Donald Trump's hand.
Yeah.
So, like I said, you guys, I love everybody dearly. I do. And I hope you guys understand what I've been through, what I'm going through, what Jamie's going through, what Jeremy, Amy, these ones that are on this side of the fence and want justice for our niece and my child, my mom and her granddaughter. This is very important to us, you guys. Very, very important to us. The justice is there. For some reason, it's not getting it. So, I'm going to play a song. I want you to see you guys pump hearts for my daughter because we know what happened that night. We know what happened. And Mackenzie knows that we know. And that's what she wants. Remember that face right there. That beautiful face right there. Because that's what matters. Right there. And like I said, you can take it however you want to take it, but I'm saying it. There is a justice. Mackenzie, what do you call it? GoFundMe for Mackenzie, so I can get these things done that we need done. And you know, even a dollar will help. So I hope you guys will go on there and you'll help with this so I can get where I need to go and get this out of this county. If I don't, then I'm telling you guys, it ain't going to go nowhere. I need to put the ones he gives I can play.
Somebody finding love, somebody finding love unfailing. I wanna be a part, I wanna be a part. Somebody finding life.
Oh, yeah, there was.
Somebody finding life everlasting.
Yeah, there was.
I wanna play a part, I wanna play a part. Somebody finding hope, somebody finding hope in God of heaven. It's my desire, Lord, you would use me, change somebody else's destiny. I wanna be a part, I wanna be a part of somebody else's story, somebody else's story of redemption. I wanna be the one, I wanna be the one to shine the light of Jesus into their darkness. So lead me to that someone, I pray. Lord, I wanna bring you glory. It's somebody else's story. Somebody else's story. I wanna be a part, I wanna be a part. Somebody finding comfort, somebody finding comfort when they're hurting. I wanna play a part, I wanna play a part of caring for the widow, sheltering the orphan. It's my desire, Lord, you use me to change somebody else's destiny. I wanna be a part, I wanna be a part of somebody else's story, somebody else's story of redemption. I wanna be the one, I wanna be the one to shine the light of Jesus into their darkness. So lead me to that someone, I pray. Lord, I wanna bring you glory. Somebody else's story. I wanna be a part, I wanna be a part of somebody else's story, somebody else's story of redemption. This hope in me was not meant to be contained inside. I've gotta give it away, give it away. This hope in me was not meant to be contained inside. I've gotta give it away, give it away. I wanna be a part, I wanna be a part of somebody else's story, somebody else's story of redemption.
All right, everybody. Like I said, this is Mackenzie made this when she was in the 2nd grade, and I can tell you right now, that hand right there she's put her hand on a lot of people's hearts, and it is her story. And we got to get this from a little girl. And so one of the things I want to tell everybody too is I want to thank the ones that have donated already to the GoFundMe for Mackenzie. and I want to thank them with all my heart. Like I said, man, this is about Mackenzie. This is about getting justice for my child. And I would do this for anybody else, too. I would. And I would fight with any family that's going through what I'm going through. All we need to do is get it out of this county. And it's a battle for me. It's been a hard battle. I begged. I've showed you guys where I've asked for it to be removed back years ago and was told that there ain't no conflict of interest. I mean, I've done everything I can do in this county. And I've fought as hard as I can. I've reached out. I've done things to try to get it out there. I know I still got to get with the young lady, Ashley, and get the posters done. I promised to get them out. Some things have come up and everything that's kind of held me back a little bit. Another thing, I'm going to get somebody, I don't know, I'll find somebody that can come to my house that knows how to type or whatever, and I want to go through these tapes again, all the tapes. Well, I ain't going to do it at my house, sorry. We'll go somewhere.
It's a bat cave.
Yeah, we'll go somewhere on a vacation.
There you go.
And I want to go through all the tapes and have somebody type them, you know, exactly what I say, what they say, what I say, all the way down. Because these tapes, what's happening now is these tapes are getting where I'm playing them and playing them and playing them to listen to every detail, and it's starting to lose their whatever their tape's made out of, and it's starting to get harder to hear and stuff. And I don't want to lose that. I don't want to lose those tapes. So I want to do that so I can have it in my hands, and it's easier for me to read it to you guys and not miss anything. There's some parts, like I said on the tape, man, it gets real quiet, and I'm hoping that I can get them somewhere, you know, quietly and everything, and we can hear exactly what's being said and everything. I bought stuff, man. I look like Inspector Gadget here at this house, man, trying to make things where we can hear stuff better and everything. Because like I said, you guys, that baby was my little girl, and I do miss her. I miss her every day. Her 12-year anniversary of her death is coming up April 27th. Her birthday is May 30th. And then June the 20th is when we exhumed her and reburied her. I am going to get with everybody and do something at the cemetery. Because like I said, Larry did a great job out there, man. I mean, man, my daughter's grave looks beautiful now since the exhuming. And everybody can bring out flowers and stuff. I'm probably going to do it on the 27th, which is Friday, the actual day that she died. April 27th, so I'm going to do it, and I think it falls on a Friday, and it'll be Friday evening. Hopefully, Mother Nature will work with us, and we ain't got snow, and we can all meet out there, and I want to do a balloon launch and everything. I am working with another guy that contacted me. He's going to do a big poker run. June the 9th is what we're shooting for, and he's donating 2 big hogs and everything, and we're going to meet at the cemetery there on June the 9th too and do a balloon launch to heaven. The balloons are to be released to heaven for Mackenzie. So those are 2 things I do know. The other thing where I was talking about the picnic, I think I got with my friends here that's here tonight with me, and we're shooting somewhere in May. 2nd or 3rd weekend of May.
May 19th.
Because I know my son's graduating. May 28th, I think, is their graduation or something like that. It's the last weekend, and then you got Memorial Weekend. It's a big holiday there, and it's my daughter's birthday, May 30th. So those are the 3 main things I'm doing, and then, like I said, I'm working my hardest to try to get to Washington, D.C. to get these claims filed so I can get them in there and get this going. I'm done. I'm done playing with the Fayette County Sheriff's Office. I can't take another lie from them. I just can't do it. And I'm going to do something here shortly coming up too when it gets a little warmer. I am now officially going to protest at the Wrecker Herald. because since they don't want to write me an apology or at least contact me and say they're sorry for calling my daughter an it 3 times in the newspaper, I am going to protest at the Record Herald. I'll let everybody know when I'm going to do that, because I am very upset with that they would even do it. I'm upset that Vernon would even say it out of his own mouth and call my daughter an it, but I'm more disappointed in the Record Herald for printing it and putting it in the newspaper. And I can tell you right now, the exact words was, we took it to Montgomery County Coroner's office. I'm not happy. I'm not happy at all. And I gave them opportunity to apologize to me and my family and our community for doing it. And obviously they don't care. So I'm going to protest. And they can explain it there. So I'm just letting everybody know that is coming up too. So I want to thank everybody tonight. I love you guys. I love you guys as kids, families. You know, give your kids a hug and a kiss for me. Say your prayers with them. Because like I said, you never know what tomorrow's going to bring. So I thank you guys. Thank you.